So please describe to me what the aesthetic look is exactly.
More like this guy here.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and bring
Oh wow, you really have to come in here?
like this guy.
Is this
No,
is this really happening? He met the other guy behind you, bro. Like I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm right into that bad boy.
You can stay right there, behind the camera, behind the camera. No, see now that you got me jealous now.
That's okay.
That's not
no,
fair.
but you're more in the category like Luther Arnold. Okay?
My man. Yeah. Arnold Ferrigno. Huh?
Okay.
Aesthetic.
That's great, partner. You two ever go out place everything in its proper place?
That does not make sense, but we usually do go. We head to Kroger's, and we work.
Yeah. I've got a lady waiting for me back home also. She has the most beautiful scrotum. Oh, God. And when she sings, she sounds just like a puppy dog.
How do you nail a photo?
Just gotta get in the mode. You gotta talk with your eyes.
Talk with your eyes.
Talk with your eyes. You
Okay,
gotta
so
have the eyes
can
first.
you show me a little bit of something, like to this camera? I would love to know how to do this. I just want to know.
Well,
How
I
do you do it?
mean,
Teach
the
me
smile,
something.
You can get the sexy eyes. Then you know you gotta get the smile. Smile going on some shoes, but you know.
Wait, hold up.
You got.
I got
when
to
it's
try
time,
this with
when,
you.
it, when it's
Hold
time
on.
to laugh,
I gotta try
you
this
gotta
with
think
you.
of something funny
All right,
and start laughing.
do it again. Do it again. How do you do it? Teach me.
Sexy eyes.
The sexy eye.
This is sexy eyes right here.
Smizing?
Smile.
So you're smizing.
Smile.
Okay.
And then you gotta get the.
No, I look like I need to take a poop or something.
Wish words were like little toy guns. No sting, no hurt, no one, just a bang, bang. Right?
Is that it?
Yeah, it's something like that. Just a bang,
Toy
bang,
guns.
rolling off your tongue.
Toy guns.
It's no smoke, no
Bang, bang.
bullets.
Water guns. All right.
Pascal, you are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold up, we just saying hi. Five somebody rise up. Weekdays, catch us live. Somebody, let's go.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Pascal Show. Yes. Happy Monday, y'all. It is Monday, y'all. Monday. I got to be honest, it's been an amazing and epic and busy weekend for me. One of my sisters is in town. She surprised me. If you guys hadn't heard in a couple shows ago, I was telling you guys that my family surprised me with one of my sisters surprised me out of nowhere, showed up for my birthday week because it is my birthday week. Wednesday's my birthday, so I'm very excited about it. Yeah, man, so I'm excited about it. You know, another day on this planet is a blessing, as always. So this weekend was very busy. I don't know about you guys, but it was a wonderful one, full of just time with the family. Of course, it was Father's Day yesterday, so I wanted to say a big happy Father's Day to everyone that I hadn't gotten a chance to say happy Father's Day to. Actually, I didn't get to say happy Father's Day to my boy Jackie Buck. Jackie, happy birthday, my brother.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Anytime, man. Anytime. You know what, man? Like, on some real stuff, I hope I could be, when I have kids, whenever it happens, I hope I could be just as cool and as calm of a dad as you, man. I gotta be real. You are a great father. So happy Father's Day to you, brother.
You just don't see the behind the scenes.
Oh yeah, they're actually off camera. They're hung by their ankles right now, just chilling. You know, what the hell?
Scrubbing the floor right now.
They're scrubbing the floors with toothbrushes. That's it. Just toothbrushes. You wanted finite. Anyway. Jackie and Tommy are in the house. What's going, guys? What's good? What's a guan?
Hey, enjoying the weather we got here. Had a nice little weekend and put a in-ground fire pit in this weekend. So did some labor. I had all the materials from the other weekend and did some actual labor this weekend, digging it out and filling it in. So yeah, all came together pretty nicely.
Very nice.
So, yeah,
that's nice. That sounds nice, man. How about you, Tommy? How you?
Oh, I had a great weekend. Got together yesterday with my family for some backyard social distancing, and I hadn't seen my family since early March. Wow. So this was a nice get together. Wow. My sister and her family were there. And my parents were there. Got to see my nieces and nephew, and everybody was there. It was. My nephew's now 2 inches taller than me.
Oh,
and he's a hockey nerd, so he's got quite the hockey mullet he's been growing in since the shutdown started.
Oh, have mercy!
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So
that's good.
It was a very nice get together. It was great to see everybody.
That's dope. Yeah, I'm happy that people were having. I'm happy that people were able to go and be with their families. You feel me? Because it's. The thing is like, especially like right now, Mother's Day was really hard for a lot of people because they want to see their moms, and then same thing with Father's Day. It's really tough. So especially when you become of a certain age, your parents become of a certain age too, and you get really worried about, you just don't want to give them anything. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to get them sick. You want them to stay here and stay healthy for as long as they bloody can. You want them on this planet for as long as they can. So you feel responsible
for yourself, not possibly giving them something that you might have if you don't know if you have. You know what I'm saying? It's a weird time right now where you just don't know no mo. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
It sucks.
That's true.
Sucks, man. It really, really sucks. So, yeah. So I'm glad that even so, for all you out there that were just practicing social distancing, you at least got to see your family. If you got to see your fathers, that's really, really great. You know, I got to see mine. Obviously, you know, we went to go and visit him at the grave site at where we laid him to rest. That was really nice, emotional, of course. But I know there's a lot of people that have their fathers that are not with them anymore. And I have to say, happy Father's Day to all the men and women that have lost their fathers in the recent years, or, you know, that, you know, if they're not with us anymore, they are still with us. I just have to say that. I know some people are not very spiritual people, but no matter what, their energy is still with us. So, you know, it was our first Father's Day without him. So it's always tough, like the first years or the first whatevers, you know what I'm saying? Like the first Christmas when he passed was tough, you know? So, so I know that a lot of people, you know, even like my girlfriend, you know, her father and her stepdad, who just recently passed about a year and a half ago or so as well. It was, you know, it's tough, you know, when you're reminiscing how good your father was instead of how good your father is, you know? So huge shout out to everybody who had to go visit them in a different way, you know, through prayer or through thought, just so you know that they are always with you, always. And happy Father's Day to all the fathers that are still on this planet as well. Keep rocking and keep being dope and keep playing the stupid games like Tea Party and stuff like that. I guarantee you it'll pay off in the long run. I guarantee you. You know what I'm saying? You don't want your kids doing anything crazy like selling smack or working that pole. You don't want that. Not at all. So keep doing that Tea Party stuff. Okay, y'all. Anyway, but I'm glad everybody had you guys had a good one. You know, a good one. Aside from doing the in-ground fire pit, which sounds dope as hell. Did you guys do anything special? Like for you, did you wake up with like breakfast in bed? Like, did you get like pancakes? Like, you get Mickey Mouse? I mean,
pancakes? we had nice breakfast.
Okay.
But, you know, at the I guess call it the dinner table, the breakfast table.
Word.
And you know, it just wasn't anything out of the ordinary.
Okay.
You know, but that's every day of being a dad, right? Everything just comes as it is. So, and I don't need anything special. But was happy with just being around the fam. We got to see April's dad stop by and said hello, dropped off a card. But we were out in the pool. We set up a little blow-up pool in the back.
Nice.
Sat out there for a little bit. It was perfect weather for it. I got to talk to my dad. He went golfing earlier in the morning. And so we didn't make it over to there. We've been still trying to do the social distance stuff just from we're a little bit more extreme, I guess, than other people right now. But, you know, our concerns are valid, I think, at this time, just because the amount of increases over the past weekend. St. Missouri's had the largest amount of COVID stuff going on in the past week.
Excuse me? Say that again?
So,
say that again?
Missouri's had the largest increase in COVID cases and deaths in the past week.
Yes. Okay. Sorry. I thought you said St. Louis. I was like, what? That's
Joplin.
New.
Other
Joplin's getting rocked.
Really?
Yeah.
Joplin. I didn't know about Joplin. I just knew the state of Missouri was getting hit hard. But then I also heard that there are a lot of cases. There's just a peak, you know, that just hit hard. A lot of people are, you know, a lot of states are dealing with new cases that are popping up out of nowhere.
Right.
You know, and you know, let's talk about that really quick. You know, because I know that's part of. We're going to be sailing into our top news stories and everything, but we should talk about that for sure. You know, the COVID cases are real and they're in full effect right now. There was a peak just earlier last week in certain states, and now I'm starting to see that it's starting to spread out to other ones. So we were just talking about Missouri. What other places have we been getting peaks at? Do we know
basically
that at all?
everywhere in the South?
Really?
The majority of the larger states have been in the South have been getting kind of hit pretty hard. I know that Florida said that they've shown that the amount of cases they've had, the average age has actually gone down into the 30s now. So I think the average age they said was 37, whereas before it was like I think up in the 50s. So they said that it contributes to all of the events that were going on from Memorial Day and the beaches opening back and up, and also all the businesses opening back up. Whereas some of the, I guess the politicians that are out there are saying that, oh no, it's just increased testing, but that doesn't fall in the lines with we've had the largest amount of like hospital increases as well. So there may be increased testing, but there's also an increase in hospitalizations. So just because you increase testing doesn't mean that hospitalizations are going to go up. Hospitalizations are going to go up when people are actually getting sick. And so, yeah, but there's large states. I mean, Arizona, I believe, is having some. Texas. So, I mean, but the whole U.S., I mean, is just we're in the first wave still. We haven't gone out of it.
Okay, so we're still considering this the first wave, correct? I mean, this is still considered the tail end of the first wave, or are we still like in the bulk of it? Like we still in the movie?
It hit the cities, and then it went in. Now it's going to all the rural areas. So yeah, I mean, it's slowly spreading, but nursing homes are having horrible times trying to keep it under control. A lot of nursing homes across the U.S. are being put in like a positioning where they are taking overflow of patients from like hospitals that are being treated and then being brought into the nursing homes for that extended care portion. But then there's already the most vulnerable people are in the nursing homes. And then a lot of them don't have any of the equipment and necessary amount of staff to be able to deal with it. And so I don't know. Some of these places are just having a really rough time. And I don't think that everyone knows the full extent still. I did see a case down in Texas where a lady had the coronavirus, and then I think 7 or 8 weeks later, she had it again. Whether or not it got out of her system and then came back, but I guess a lot of people that had it first time around were going to be able to see whether or not they're able to catch it again, because a lot of people that I imagine had it, there's going to be a portion of them that go out and think that they'll be fine, and their precautions are going to be down.
Yeah.
So I don't know how many people are still out there going and cleaning off their groceries and wiping down the car door handle and the gas tank and.
Yeah, like I kind of predicted in a way. I was kind of expecting people to get kind of lazy. I figured people would just start getting lazy for sure. What were you going to say, Tom?
Well, didn't the I forget if it was the CDC or somebody said that wiping down your groceries isn't really necessary anymore. I thought I had heard that somewhere.
Yeah, the WHO also said that asymptomatic people, it's really rare for people to get sick from them. But then they had to retract that statement. I think that is what it's showing is that they say, yeah, it's not likely that'll happen, but they still don't know the percentage of time that it can happen from it. Gotcha. And now, obviously, if somebody was walking by and then coughed onto, let's say, a cereal box, and they know that it lives longer on cardboard, and then you go and you pick up that cereal box and you don't wipe it off, and then it's on there for 7 days, and you're going and you're pouring your cereal, and then you're going to eat. I mean, I don't know. I could see that being a way that you could get it, I guess, or you just wipe your mouth or whatever it may be. Well, it's unlikely because the people now, at least in the grocery stores, are wearing gloves and they're wearing masks. So when they're putting your food on the shelves, they're actually protecting their air flow and stuff to go. But if you really pay attention, the majority of the people that are wearing the masks in grocery stores that are working there, or in restaurants, or in any other store, or any drive-through, or anything, their mask is on, but it's below their nose.
Yep.
Yeah, I've noticed.
So it's like,
that really burns my cookies, man, because just the other day, just the other day, I'm sitting there, I'm ordering food, getting a slice of pizza from some pizza joint, and I'm seeing this girl, she has the mask, but it's under her chin. It's just around her ears, under her, and she's the one serving us food, and I'm looking at her like, are you serious? Are you going to put your mask on? She's touching things. She's moving things around. I don't see no gloves on her. Not nothing. She's just straight up just doing this. I'm like, man, come on, man. This is ridiculous. This is how you get sick. This is how you're spreading it. Use your head. The cooks in the back were all doing their thing, but she's up in front, not even bothering to wear her mask properly. And I'm seeing a lot of that, what you're saying, Jack, where it's just right under the nose. It's there, but it's under the nose. It's not covering what needs to be covered. And it's like, all right, well, what's the point of wearing the damn mask then? If you're good, you might as well just take it off then, because there's no point of you wearing the mask if you're gonna just put it right underneath your nose. I ain't got time for this, man. You know what I'm saying? We out here, we're dealing with this thing. They say that there's gonna be a second wave coming. They're saying get ready for the second wave. But I'm seeing people who are just getting lazy, like just straight up lazy as hell. And man, I don't know. I don't know how many times you gotta tell people, hey, stop. Put on the mask. Just remember, there's other people around you. Take responsibility for your own self and try not to give somebody something that you might have. You know, that's ridiculous. Tom, what were you gonna say?
Oh, I didn't have anything. I was coughing.
My bad. I thought you were gonna say something. My bad, brother. But yeah, speaking of that, we do have something I wanted to pop up because I thought it was very interesting. And I'm gonna have Tom lead the story, but DL Hughley, it's one of our top stories, so we got to jump into it. DL Hughley was found, he collapsed live on stage at Zanny's, a popular stand-up comedy club in Nashville, Tennessee. He was doing his stand-up routine, and he collapsed live in front of everybody. I got the video, but I'm going to have Tom lead the story. Speak on it, brother.
Yeah, DL Hughley, he was performing in Nashville, Tennessee over the weekend at Zany's Comedy Club, and he collapsed on stage. He did not know he had COVID-19. At first, he thought it was just, a lot of celebrities will, say, I've got dehydration and exhaustion. And that's initially what DL Hughley was saying, is like, I'm dehydrated and exhausted, been working myself too hard. But he went to the hospital after he collapsed on stage, and they tested him for COVID, and he tested positive. And they said, you must be an asymptomatic carrier.
Yeah.
So
he's Rona.
Fortunately, I think, he's diagnosed now. He's going to quarantine for 14 days at his Nashville hotel room. And, it's good that he's diagnosed. He knows what he's got now. Hopefully he recovers soon.
Yes. Yeah. And we got the video here. I'm just pulling it up here. Just give me a second. Thank you so much for that backstory, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
Un momento, por favore.
Tom, what I read, I saw that he had gone in for dehydration and stuff, and that's what it was. But then they also found out that he had COVID.
Right.
But he was asymptomatic, so he didn't have any symptoms at all from that.
Right, but I think exhaustion is a symptom of COVID. So it could be
being asymptomatic, though?
Well,
that's a good question.
The traditional coughing symptoms, that sort of thing, he wasn't experiencing. But exhaustion can be a symptom of COVID. So it could be,
yes. And also, remember, in the very beginning, when people were starting to get it in Wuhan, people were passing out. People were passing out due to exhaustion.
Stuff,
So this is not old news. This is something like, this is traditional side effects or traditional signs of having COVID. So hopefully he is saying that he's asymptomatic, but hopefully it's not going to go any further than just him getting diagnosed with the actual virus. But here we have the video. Take a look. Yeah, man, he's just out. I got you. Woo! He's just out, y'all.
Oh, man.
Everybody just stay calm. We got it all under control here, y'all. Think else.
Okay.
We're gonna get things taken care of.
So, of course, there is a video where he does talk to everybody, which I'm going to throw up here in a quick second, and I'm going to pull you guys up here in a second too. But I just want to point something out real quick. All right, I want you guys to see the room. Do you think that's social distancing?
No.
Do you think? Hold on. There's the I don't see any masks up in this piece at all. Do you see that? Does that look like social distancing at all to you in this area right here? I'm just posing these questions because here it is. This man, he was standing. I'm just going to pull this up here. Obviously, he's passed out. I'm not trying to make him look bad here because I'm a huge DL Hughley fan, okay? But this is right here. He's sitting on the chair. I'm going to pull back a little bit. He's sitting on the chair. Dang, he's still on the ground. Okay. Well, that's him like leaning in the cut. He's about to go out. Okay. So, yes, that's okay. That could be 6 feet. You know what I mean? Like right there could be 6 feet. All right. But at the same time, if you notice everybody else around here in this piece, I mean, people are close. People are sitting real close with each other right here. You know what I'm saying? Now, I understand that it's a small comedy club and there's a lot of people that want to see him and life must go on and things got to get going and all that. But that is really close, y'all. And I don't see not nobody wearing a mask in this video. Not nobody. Even him. He's not wearing a mask. He's chilling in the cut. Now, also, I feel bad for the the stage manager, the security guards, anybody who went to grab him right here. So in other words, every single person that was in that room, in that enclosed environment has got to go get tested now. Every single person that was there that witnessed him passing the F out has got to go and get tested now and probably has to quarantine themselves for 14 days. Mandatory because, he didn't know he got it. He didn't know he had the Rona. You see what I'm saying? He didn't know that stuff.
Absolutely.
So when it comes to that, it makes you wonder, are we truly ready for live events? Are we truly ready to be out here chilling, laughing with people in a fully enclosed environment with no masks? I didn't see not one mask up in that piece. And now that dude passed out. Probably gave the other dudes, they're probably going to have, the people who caught him and carried him out, they're probably going to have to get tested too. Like everybody in that room, everybody that was in close contact with this dude now has to go and get tested.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's crazy. So it's like, Absolutely. Are we ready for that? Are we fully ready to be out here in enclosed places, like, when they say something like AMC theaters is going to be opening up and getting, we ready to rock and roll. Are we really, 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 really ready to rock and roll like that? Are we? What do you guys think?
You can definitely, I can speak from firsthand experience on this. You can definitely get sick from a comic. In case you didn't know, you can't get sick from comics. They are not superheroes. Yes, go ahead. I have a story about this. I went to go see Patton Oswalt in San Francisco. I had front row seats to see Patton Oswalt. Remy the Rat from Ratatouille, King of Queens, that sort of thing. I was in the front row. He came out. He started his act by saying, "I'm sorry, I've been really under the weather recently." And he had this whole hilarious bit about how he's had a cold and how he washed his ass before the show and that made him feel a lot better. It was funny. But he did this whole bit. Cut to 2 days later, I start feeling really, really sick. Oh, damn. And it was Patton Oswalt got me sick. So yes, if a guy's on stage and is sick and you're sitting in the front row, I can speak from personal experience, you're going to get sick. So, everybody there is going to have to get tested.
Man, real quick, I want to throw this up here. This is DL Hughley, addressing him getting, him passing out and all that. Here we go.
Hughley. I'm just being released from St. Thomas Hospital in Nashville. I want to thank them for taking such good care of me. I want to thank you all for your well wishes and your prayers, and you comedians who called and said such evil things when I was scared to death. Thank you too. I really appreciate it. Thank you everybody for your prayers and well wishes. When I came, I was being treated for extreme exhaustion and dehydration, which I was very dehydrated. But it turns out they ran a battery of tests, and I also tested positive for COVID-19, which blew me away. I was what they call asymptomatic. I didn't have any symptoms that, other classic symptoms I didn't have. Flu-like symptoms I didn't have. Shortness of breath. I didn't have difficulty breathing. I didn't have a cough. I didn't have a low-grade fever. I still don't have a fever. I didn't have a loss of smell or taste. Apparently, I just lost consciousness. So, in addition to all the other stuff you have to look out for, if your ass pass out in the middle of a show on stage, you probably need to get tested. So, I am going back to my hotel room to quarantine for 14 days. And
anyway, you get the rest. You know the story. The saga must continue. It's the same old story. But of course, shout out to DL Hughley. Thank you so much for being so candid. That's number one. And two, of course, we hope that he has a swift recovery due to the COVID. I mean, that's terrible news. But if you're out there if you're in close proximity and, in close contact with a lot of people all the time, I feel like you are going to get something like that. I mean, I feel like it's only inevitable in a way. But then again, I could be completely wrong. Yeah. I mean, you just never know, which sucks. You just never know where you could get it, who has it. So it's no joke. And as much as everybody thinks it's not real, it's real. Damn. It's real, y'all. Play it safe. Wear your damn masks. Sanitize, y'all. Even if the weather gets better, like it is right now, does not mean that you still can't get it. Apparently, the heat ain't changing nothing. The heat ain't changing nothing, y'all. Because I know a lot of people were thinking, oh yeah, once the weather gets better, the cases are gonna, the sun, the heat will just destroy that virus. Once it hits the sun, once it hits the heat, hell nah. This ain't stopping nobody. This ain't not stopping this COVID. So, everybody, please continue to practice those things that they've been drilling in our heads for the past few months now. This is not the time to get lazy. This is the time to be even more cautious when you are traveling, when you are going out and being around friends, all of that. Please be safe out there, y'all. Be safe.
It's a good recommendation.
Yeah, it's a fair assessment. It's a fair assessment. You know what I'm saying? It's a fair assessment. Be safe, y'all. Don't be stupid. Wash your damn hands, yo. You know what I mean? That's it. Wear a mask. And if you're handling food in restaurants, just an idea. Wear the mask. Wear some gloves. Por favor. Please. Okay. Moving on. Moving on to the next conversation. Oh, boy. We got to go into our top news. This is a thick one, so we're going to talk about this one, which I found very, very interesting. So TikTok users basically sabotaged Trump's rally in Tulsa, Oklahoma. This is a very interesting one. It's TikTokers and K-pop fans went out of their way to reserve tickets for Trump's rally, and the results of the turnout for his rally was astronomically bad. I'm going to throw it over to Tom. He's got the story on it. Speak on it, Tommy.
Yeah, well, those of you who watched Donald Trump's rally in Tulsa on Saturday, did not have quite the numbers that the Trump campaign had been expecting. They had been bragging all week that they had hundreds of thousands, if not close to 1 million people that were going to be going to this thing.
Right.
They built, they were expecting to sell out the HOK arena in Tulsa. They built an overflow arena in the outside of it to fit even more people. Well, only 6,200 people showed up to this, to a venue that seats close to 20,000.
Yeah.
And the reason why only 6,200 showed up is because I guess only 6,200 people wanted to show up. But the reason why the numbers were projected to be so much larger is because a lot of TikTok users and a lot of fans of K-pop, as Korean pop music, went through there was an internet portal where you could go and register for the event. So all these TikTok users went and registered and said, "Oh yeah, we're going to be there." So they built this, external stage where all these people could go, and then 6,200 people showed up, according to the Tulsa Fire Department.
So we got a video for that. So I'm gonna throw this up here real quick. Goes a little bit more in a deep dive of what's going on. Funny stuff. Here we go.
TikTok users are taking partial credit for this, a less than full arena at President Donald Trump's first political rally in months. Users on the popular video sharing app said in posts and videos that they completed the free online registration for the Trump rally in Tulsa, Oklahoma on Saturday with no intention of going. The New York Times reported that Korean pop music fans were also encouraging people to do the same. Prior to the event, Trump's campaign manager, Brad Pascal, said there had been more than 1 million ticket requests for the event. However, the 19,000-seat arena had many empty seats on Saturday night. Tulsa's fire department said 6,200 people attended. That led Trump critics to quickly declare the social media campaign a victory on Saturday night. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, a Democrat, said, quote, "You just got rocked by teens on TikTok," in response to a tweet by Pascal blaming the media for discouraging attendees and citing bad behavior by demonstrators outside. While former Republican strategist Steve Schmidt, an outspoken critic of Trump, tweeted, quote, "My 16-year-old daughter and her friends in Park City, Utah have hundreds of tickets. You have been rolled by America's teens." The Trump campaign said entry was on a first-come, first-served basis and that no one was issued an actual ticket. In a statement to Reuters, a Trump campaign spokesman said, quote, "Leftists always fool themselves into thinking they're being clever. Registering for a rally only means you've RSVP'd with a cell phone number. But we thank them for their contact information."
I'm done. I am done. The thing is that one thing, rest assured, about Trump and his administration and his whole bloody team, they are going to go and find any excuse under the sun to make him come out on top every time. Hands down. He can never sit there and go, "Yeah, they got me, but we're going to do it again. We're going to do another rally, and it's going to be better than that one." Oh, his inauguration was the biggest turnout in the history of turnouts. You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
I hope you guys remember that. But what's funny is that if this is entirely true, if TikTokers and K-pop fans really went out of their way to get as many tickets as they could so that he can have a terrible turnout at his rally. Man, kids are amazing nowadays. Thank you. Thank you for being a part of the movement. But they will try to find anything under the sun to say, "Oh, no, it was because of this," and the fear of the... They basically said, there's another clip out there where one of his people was sitting there saying that, oh no, it was because the reason why there was such a small amount of people that showed up was because they were scared of the Black Lives Matter protesters. This is the reason why they didn't show up. They didn't show up to the rally because they're scared of the BLM protesters. They didn't want to go face to face with BLM protesters. If they're really that scared of BLM protesters, then you don't want them to be on your side, period. That's a whole bunch of cowards not being on your team, not being on your side. Crazy. Then they try to say, oh, no, it's not. We weren't. It was just getting information. It wasn't really getting, it wasn't reserving tickets. So then nobody got your tickets then. If them putting in their information was not reserving tickets, still no matter what, nobody showed up. Nobody wanted to be there. 62,000? 6,200. Sorry, 6,200 showed up. And it's a facility that houses how many? 19 what?
19,199.
Thank you. Just one shy of 200. So, one shy of 200. So, yeah, you're going to try to find any excuse under this. Instead of just saying, yeah, man, the TikTokers got me, but now it's like, oh, maybe I need to start using that TikTok. You see what I'm saying? To me, I would be like, okay, TikTokers got me. So now I'm going to use as much as I can to put ads on TikTok. TikTok is like the Wild West right now. Shoot, you can do basically anything on that on that platform. Anyway, I think it's really ridiculous. It's so hilarious. Frustrating. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. Absolutely. But instead of him just going, yeah, man, they got me. You know what I'm saying? Y'all good. Y'all got me. You know what I'm saying? Until next time, Mr. Gadget, next time. You know what I mean? He could have said that, but no. He's just trying to he's trying to weave through this BS. It's crazy. Tom, what were you going to say?
The whole thing is just a total disaster, though. I mean, you heard Brad Pascal, the Trump official that put together this event, who I don't know how that guy still has a job on, today.
Facts.
But after how bad he pooped the bed over the weekend. But you hear him say at the end of that, thanks for your data. But that's just the thing. This was a big data mining operation. They overbooked this event so they could collect emails and personal information so that they could use that in their campaign to craft their messaging, to craft their outlook, to figure out where they're popular, where they're unpopular. And these TikTok fans just took all the data they collected and invalidated all of it because they got trolled. Right. So the image of the empty stadium and the PR fallout from that is one part of the story, but they thought they were collecting huge amounts of good data on this that they could use in the campaign. That data now just has to be junked. It's great.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Besides the TikTokers, there's also a lady named Sheila Buck that got arrested at a protest, and she's 63 years old.
Any relation?
No. She was very upset with police brutality and everything going on, and she put out a call, like in a video, saying, hey, I registered for this event, and it's such a shame that I can't go. You should go and register too and not go, basically is what her messaging was. But her video got shared like 700,000 times.
Nice.
So I think it was a kind of a mix between TikTokers, K-pop fans, and this movement behind Sheila Buck as well. So
that's what's up.
Pascal, I also saw, was blaming the severe thunderstorm warnings that were coming in for the area. He said that the Black Lives Matter protesters that were out there were blocking the metal detectors, so no one could come in, and that's what their big reason was, is that no one could enter because the entrances were being blocked. So I would like to see photos and videos of that blockage.
Yeah. Well, I was reading that the entrances were temporarily blocked, but that the police had cleared away the protesters from the entrances 3 hours before the event.
Oh,
so
fudge!
See what I'm
and
saying?
They were temporarily blocked 3 hours before the event.
It's kind of like going to the airport, right? If you can't get there 5 hours ahead of time, there's no reason to go anymore. So,
but I think this just kind of goes to like the incompetence of the people that work in this administration. I mean, I was thinking about this over the weekend. Like, there's still a lot of unfilled cabinet posts. People don't want to work for Donald Trump because they're afraid that their reputation is going to be ruined by him, because that's what he does.
Right.
He hires these people on. They are told to act on his behalf. They get in trouble. And then he says the buck doesn't stop with me. It stops with that guy. And then he demonizes the people he's hired. How many times have we seen that play out with people that have been cabinet members for him, where they come on? John Bolton, to say the least.
Yeah.
But he hires these people on and he fires them and trash talks them. Who wants to work with a guy like that? So what you're going to get is incompetent event organizers like this Brad Pascal fella, who just embarrassed the president in a grand fashion over the weekend. It goes to the incompetence and the fact that nobody wants to work with this president that has any applicable skills.
I saw that there was a couple of things also that came out that before the event happened, local news was there setting up and watching the entrance, and somebody that had actually purchased a ticket or reserved a ticket and was in there and was wearing a Black Lives Matter shirt or an I Can't Breathe shirt. I can't remember which one it was. But they said that they don't want him there and that he was escorted out by police.
Yep.
And so that was caught on film. And then it also had gotten out that like 6 of the ground crew, including some Secret Service members, were tested positive for COVID-19. So that got out before the event happened as well.
Yeah.
So he had a mix of things going on, and plenty of things to blame.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. That's what's so frustrating about it, is like they will find any angle to run with and use that against the whole situation. Oh, this is the reason why people didn't show up. Oh, this is the other reason why people didn't show up. No, I think the people are talking. People are speaking. They don't like what you've been doing, and they want you out. And that's basically what it is. Now, I'm still nervous as all get out. November is not very far away. But there's a lot of time between now and November. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So I'm nervous. Yep. I ain't gonna lie. I'm nervous. People can swing within seconds. Obviously, people swung real quick once the George Floyd thing happened and how he reacted to things. People could swing right back if he does something right. He could do one thing right and people would go, nom, 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 eat it up. You just never know. And it's terrifying. And what's frustrating is that, like I said before, in any way, shape, or form that they can, any angle they can take and run with, they're going to take it. Even when they say, oh, we are with Trump is for the black community. Here's our 3 reasons. They still use those 3 reasons still to this day. They're going to talk about this Tulsa rally for a while, and they're just going to keep using the same excuses throughout this entire thing. It's crazy. Oh, yeah. Or I've been hearing this word I haven't heard in a long time. Filibustering. I've been hearing that a lot lately. I'm like, dang, that's a high school American history word kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Wow, filibustering. They're using filibustering right now. Damn. But yeah, and this is some real stuff. This is absolutely real. So one thing that Tano Vane just said, and I thought it was interesting too, they said, I'm pretty sure most of the people on TikTok are too young to vote anyway. And that's very true too. That's very, very true.
I don't know anymore.
But you just never know. I mean, like I said, the platform is vast. The platform has grown so quick. There are more 40-year-old
moms out there hitting the whoa on TikTok than I see, 14 to 17-year-old kids hitting the whoa. Everybody's on that damn platform now. So I really can't say that that's entirely correct, but at the same time, we will see. We'll definitely see come November, for sure.
Well, I mean, you can tell already that a lot of these Republicans are nervous about November just by virtue of the fact that it was Kentucky over the weekend slashed the number of polling places by 95%, and a lot of those were in primarily black communities. So voter suppression is going to be very, very, very real this year. We already saw it with the Georgia primaries.
Yep.
But it looks like ahead of the Kentucky primaries, they're cutting polling places. So it doesn't matter that Trump can only bring 6,200 people out in Tulsa. If you're shutting down polling places and making it more difficult for people to vote, it's going to take, I mean, this is going to be Avengers versus Thanos in November. It's going to take everybody, because they're going to pull out every dirty trick they've got, every bit of voter suppression, everything, because they know they've got a weak candidate.
Yeah. For TikTok, ages 13 to 17 is 27%. The rest are all voting age.
Oh, bang. There you go. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. You know what I'm saying? that organic tobacco. Anyway, that's interesting. Now that's some interesting stuff. But like I said, there's a lot of things that are going to be going on over the next couple months where we're going to have to sit back and watch. Things are going to start getting really, really hairy. I have a feeling things are going to get really, really shady. There's going to be a lot of shadiness going on, and I'm looking forward to it, because hopefully somebody catches him. Somebody catches that Dorito hand, like I said before, that Dorito dusted hand in the cookie jar. That's all that needs to happen. They just need to catch his ass. Somebody needs to catch his ass red-handed, hand in the cookie jar. That's all they need to do.
Do anything. They catch him every 3 days doing something abysmal. They don't care. His supporters wave anything off.
Yeah, I'm just hopeful, man. Damn. Just let me ride on this, man. Just let me ride on this, Tom. Damn.
I know, but what reality are you living in? You catch them every 3 days doing something horrible, and they're like, "Oh, it's fine. It's nothing. Don't worry about it." Nah, dude. Everybody knows who Trump is. He's an awful person.
Terrible person.
Here
but
we are.
Yeah, he's gonna do everything.
Democrats, just keep your head down and vote.
Yes.
Get out there and vote.
And if your voting station is if it's shut down, or if there's a long line for it, or if it's suddenly not working, kind of the thing that happened, like we just talked about in Georgia. If it's not working, go drive somewhere else. Go to another neighborhood that is, out of your own personal jurisdiction, and go vote. Just make sure your vote is in. That's it.
Does that work though? Don't you have like an assigned polling location?
I thought you could go to. I thought you could go to. Oh,
no,
damn.
You have to vote in your district.
Then I stand corrected. I meant I thought that if there's a. Well, I guess I didn't know that. Okay.
That's
I
what they
didn't
were
know
saying.
that. I
All
figured you could go.
Republican neighborhoods had no problems.
Yeah.
That's really messed up.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. There is a story. I mean, this story, but we should do a deeper dive on this tomorrow. But
yes.
That 95% of polling places shut down in Kentucky. That's a big deal. And they have a single polling place in Louisville's Jefferson County. They have a single polling place for 767,000 people. And it's a mostly black community.
Oh,
so
damn.
Voter suppression is in full swing.
Oh,
it's going to be all hands on deck. It's just evil.
Yeah, that's
just going up against pure evil.
That's bad news. Real talk. That's bad news. But we'll just have to see what happens, man. We're gonna have to see what happens. I hope that the right thing happens. I mean, that's all I can say is my fingers are crossed hard. Fingers are hella crossed. I'm hoping that good things will come of it. Hopefully people are well aware of what just happened in Georgia, so they don't let those things happen in November, come November. I'm hoping that happens. If not, boy. I mean, things will be exposed for sure, and the truth will come out. So hopefully, that's terrifying. Sorry, I'm processing everything live right now. It's terrifying if that happens, and if that does happen, America's going to be on fire again. I'm just going to say that again. It won't be just Black Lives Matter. It'll be everything combined into one, and it'll be really, really bad. I can see something terribly terrible happening. I could see something disastrous happening for real. Real talk.
Yeah. I saw that online. You can actually, if you search for Get to the Polls, there's a site, gttp.votinginfoproject.org, that you can enter the address where you're registered to vote. It will show you where your polling place should be. And then there's also a way that due to COVID that you're allowed to change your polling place. I don't know what the specifics of it are, but majority of people don't know about this. They either get the card in the mail and say, here's your polling places where you have to come to, and it doesn't say it on the card that you can change your location. So I'm sure that there's some variance that's allowed here. But again, you're not going to have entire counties go and register, go through a process to fill out paperwork or submit things online to get it reviewed, and then to say that it gets reviewed and approved, I don't know. So everything's a possibility, but I imagine it's just as difficult as it is to vote in those counties that are being shut down.
Interesting. Now, Mr. Super also said something interesting. He said if your polling station gets closed, you merge into a surrounding district. So if there's some issues with your polling station, I guess you would be going to another spot.
Right. Closed is one thing, though.
Right.
Right. I mean, then having one volunteer that's there to process 30,000 people.
Right.
I mean, it's not closed, so now you can't go to the other place.
So then you just stand in line and you wait till you get a chance to vote then, and you make an event out of it. Yeah. Basically, I could. Hey, shoot.
That's what they did.
I have no problem going out there and doing my miming. Like I'm a certified mimer, so I can mime and just act like You know what I mean? All day. I could do that for hours for y'all, just to make sure that you guys stay in line. I'm not certified in miming at all.
I really wish that's true.
Obviously, none of this is true. But I'm just sitting there. I could sit there and do something. I could juggle in front of you guys for a while or something like that. But I'll put on a damn show. We will do the show right in front of everybody, right there. Any place that's being shut down or being slowed down, we'll do a 3-hour show in front of people. Shoot, I don't give a damn. I want to make sure people vote. You feel me? So, shoot, if that happens, man, let me know. I will be right there. I will sing songs by myself of old times, like a troubadour. You know what I'm saying? Just a full-on throwback stuff, just nothing but Elizabethan sonnets, sing-song stuff.
So you really don't want people to vote. We got this guy singing sonnets. I'm getting the hell out of here.
You know what I'm saying?
All right.
With a lute and everything. Bring, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Just, I don't care. Anything. You know what I'm saying? Elizabethan trap music. I'll do that. Shoot. With the lute. Get Migos behind me. Just going in. I don't care. And by any means necessary, we got to vote. Real talk. So if I got to stay out there and entertain people, I will, damn it. You know what I'm saying? So I hope that doesn't happen. But if it does, we're going to be in some serious, the country's going to be in some serious deep doo-doo. Real talk. As I said, America will go down the poop chute, and we don't want that. It won't be good. Anyway, we got to go into a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. Next thing we'll be talking about is a noose was found in Bubba Wallace's garage in Talladega. This is very, very interesting news. So we're going to be talking about that and going into detail about that. We'll be right back. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.
Hey, take off the Ms. Feinberg, I'd really appreciate it if you would close your legs. Do you find it distracting?
Power, respect. Defensive is crazy in the streets. Deception, the fakers and leaks. Entertainers are trucking for tweakers and losing their circles. Their loves are unique. All of us under surveillance. We was a feeling they made it. Half of them stumbling the road and they faded. They live in the world that's degrading for people that's constantly hated.
But you see how he makes these S's in his body right here? That's where he's hanging on, and then he's moving forward with the locomotion of his ribs. That is classic Missouri rat snake right there. I mean, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab him before he gets into a hole. Now, these snakes are not biters. They won't bite as long as you don't squeeze them. If you just stop them like this, it'll freeze them, and then you just gently pull them back. As long as you don't squeeze them, they won't bite.
Yo, Mike, what's up, man?
Guy? Good to see you, man.
Yeah, so Sugar Fire.
Yeah.
Fully open, right?
Yeah, we're pretty much open. So you can't sit inside yet. Monday you can sit inside a little bit. We'll have 25% of the tables inside, and then we're letting it rip outside.
So I know that there's a lot of people really concerned about staying safe and all of that.
No,
so what are you guys doing in regards to that?
Well, we have extra people to clean and rub everything down all the time. Everybody inside's wearing masks. And we have little stickers on the ground so everyone can stay 6 feet apart.
Right on.
The tables are all spaced out, inside and outside.
Sugar Fire, open in full effect right now. They're staying healthy, they're staying clean. Go get you a rack of ribs. Sugar Fire, open right now.
Thanks.
The Fur and Leather Center, providing the highest of fur and leather goods.
I'm sorry, I can't make this interview boring because this man is too exciting as a host. And I'm truly saying this, and if y'all can't do this, me and this man here is going to leave and go somewhere else where we can get some love. I want everyone in the building to say, I love Pascal on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Wow.
Homeowners and property managers, if you're looking for effective and humane ways to remove wild animals and deal with the damage that they have caused, we have good news for you. Introducing Wildlife Command Center, a professional nuisance wildlife management company specializing in providing animal removal for residential, industrial, and commercial clients. We are the only wildlife company that checks 70 different areas on a structure to determine the answers to the following questions. Exactly which animal are we dealing with? How is the animal getting inside the home? What kind of damage is the animal doing to the structure? Once we get the answers to all of these questions, we develop and write up an action plan to resolve the animal issue completely and provide a quote to implement that action plan. We perform a very in-depth 70-point wildlife inspection. From visually inspecting the highest point, the chimney, to physically crawling inside the attic space and looking for animals, chewed wires, fecal matter, chewed structural wood, we inspect everything. Our inspection process covers all of the following 70 points: animal-proof chimney cap, roof ridge vents, roof to soffit junctions, dormer fascia, attic gable vents, gutter lines, fascia trim, garage door, utility penetrations, water, gas, electric, and cable, bathroom vents, attic roof ridge vents, attic electrical, wiring, junctions, boxes, and lighting, concrete decks, additions, wooden crawl spaces, basement plumbing, penetrations, ceiling, floor, and wall. Wildlife Command Center's mission is to deliver the finest quality wildlife removal and pest control service that is safe for the environment. For more information, call us now.
Hey, welcome back. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If this is your first time checking out this show, please go hit that subscribe button and definitely hit that like button underneath this feed if you're enjoying the conversation and enjoying the show today. And obviously keep them comments rolling down below. Anyway, we got to go into this next conversation. It's something that I found very interesting, very weird, and just interesting altogether. This has to do with Bubba Wallace. I guess last week we were talking about him in regards to, and also with NASCAR. They recently banned the Confederate flag. And of course, on top of that, Bubba Wallace went ahead and basically wrapped his entire car in support of the Black Lives Matter movement. A lot of people love it, and apparently a lot of people hate it. So NASCAR has launched an investigation after a noose was found in a garage stall at Talladega belonging to Bubba Wallace, the only black driver competing in its Top Cup series. So they have been made aware that this noose was found in the garage for the 43 team. And they're angry and outraged, and they cannot state strongly enough how seriously they take this heinous act. They obviously have launched a investigation. They will be doing everything they can to identify the person or persons responsible and eliminate them from the sport. Of course, you know, as you already know, there are a lot of people apparently now. There is a lot of people that are very upset at the idea that the Confederate flag is not allowed and has been banned in NASCAR, to the point where there are people who are buying and paying planes to fly banners up above over tracks saying defund NASCAR, with the Confederate flag attached to it as well. There's a lot of people that are very upset with this whole idea of not having the Confederate flag being a part of NASCAR. So guys, I mean, I got to throw it to you guys and wonder what you think. I mean, obviously, in light of everything that's been going on with Black Lives Matter, there's a lot of things that have been getting banned. The Confederate flag is definitely not part of the NASCAR sports at all anymore. And it's really upsetting a lot of people. So what do you guys think on it?
I mean, if you were to ask me when I was a younger kid, like, what are some things that you can tell me that you know you'll see at a NASCAR event?
Yeah.
I'd say race cars. I would say Busch beer. And I would say a Confederate flag. Mm-hmm. Like, it is synonymous? What's that word?
Synonymous, yeah.
With it. I mean, it has, if you go back and look at any major photos, most of the time in like the winning circle and things like that, you can spot somebody wearing either rebel flag garb, or you can see a Confederate flag in the background somewhere. You know, I wouldn't be surprised you went back if there wasn't cars that had rebel flags that were, you know, stuck out the window while they were doing their victory lap. Like, I don't know if that happened for a fact, but I imagine it could have. I think that, you know, obviously it's a big step forward for them to be able to do it. It's not part of their brand. They don't want it to be part of their brand. They want it to be an open sport. They want it to be all inclusive. Anybody can drive a race car, and you know, anybody should be able to go enjoy a race. Having someone, there's going to always be a group that is going to be so upset about any change that happens, and especially when you have a racist group that's going to get incited, basically, and they're going to go out and do something to try to instill fear. And that's what they've done here. They've gone and they've placed a noose into a black man's, only black man that is driving a NASCAR car, and at one of the biggest, you know, sporting events for it. And it's outrageous. I mean, do they not get caught? Are there not cameras all around here, you know, watching over all these super expensive cars?
Yeah.
And all the other equipment that's around. I mean, if they can't pinpoint them and find out who it is, like, that's outrageous too.
Yeah. Yeah. Obviously, they're trying to cover somebody. Now, here it is, though. Let's throw this in here as well. There was that race car driver as well. Do you remember that there was a race car driver named Ray Ciccarelli? Cicerelli, Ray Cicerelli, if I'm correct. He quit NASCAR after they said that he could not have the Confederate flag on his car anymore. He had a huge problem with it. He quit. He said, I'm out. I'm done. I'm not part of this NASCAR thing anymore. I'm done. Obviously, he wasn't a very good driver, apparently. His stats were terrible. But at the same time, he said, hey, I'm quitting out of protest of not being able to have having the right to use the Confederate flag. Now, it's just wild to me that it's a flag that represents something so terrible, so bad. But somebody like Ray Cicerelli feels like it's his freedom of speech is being muffled in some sort of way. And it's just weird to me. So you got to remember, so he had a huge problem with it. So I would automatically assume I would be looking towards his team instantly, because he's the one who had a huge problem with it. He quit racing solely because of that, which is fine by me. I mean, I'm not a NASCAR fan, but as a black man in a predominantly white sport, and me walking into a garage and seeing a noose hanging up in the rafters, or like in the ceiling, or just laid out on the floor, that is still very messed up and terrifying, a terrifying scene to walk in on, you know?
Yeah.
What are you gonna say, Tom?
I mean, it's just, obviously the Confederate flag has had a huge part of history of NASCAR, and a huge part of the history of the South. And this is a difficult change for a lot of people to make, to acknowledge that flag represents something very awful to a lot of people in this country. I think, this is kind of nothing, but I was reading, because Tom Petty made a lot of news. He did Tom Petty, the late rock and roll musician. But, Trump had used his "I won't back down" over the weekend at his speech, and his family came out and said Tom would not have approved of that. But in that conversation was an article Tom Petty wrote about the Confederate flag for Rolling Stone, and what it meant to him growing up, and how his views evolved on it over his lifetime. And I mean, if you get a chance, read that article, because I think it's a good first person account of somebody who is owning up to their own ignorance as to what that flag represents.
Right.
So, I mean, these things are going to be tough, but it's really hard to make the case that the rebel flag is not racist when your response to it being removed is hanging a noose in a black man's garage. Yeah, it's very disappointing to see, but I guess not unexpected. I mean, you went from the Confederate flag being everywhere at these events to being banned overnight. People are going to be upset. But as Jack said, I mean, I can't imagine they don't have cameras around everywhere in these garages. I mean, this is high dollar equipment. There's I mean, I forget if it was, but I mean, there's a chance of sabotage between teams where they could go and mess with somebody's car.
Right.
Those garages have to be some of the most filmed places on earth. So I can't imagine there's not video of someone going in there.
Right. And that's the thing, and that's why it's very frustrating. If you really think about it, it is those kind of situations when they go, oh, we're going to go into investigation. All right, where's the footage? That's instantly I'm going, there's no investigation. I'm sure there's footage. Mm-hmm. There's guaranteed footage. Why are we sitting here saying that we have to investigate if you have footage? Now, I get it, investigating, because they got to look at the footage. I get that too. But at the same time, it's like, you should already know who did it. You probably already know who did it. It's not like he just showed up and there it was. You know what I mean? Just materialized right there in front of you, right in your face, Then there's also the other thing. There's a lot of people that are trying to say that he's trying to pull a Jussie Smollett or a Juicy Smollett. And the thing is that, no, I don't think he has any time to do anything that kind of trash like that, especially in this climate. I think that, honestly, he is shoot, Jussie Smollett or Juicy Smollett already showed the what happens if you do something stupid like that, the aftermath of what would come. So I don't think that Bubba Wallace would go out of his way to do something like that so stupid for himself. Why would he do that? He doing just fine. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense.
It's just it's interesting that that's a lot of white people's knee-jerk reaction to it is, oh, well, that racism isn't real, so he must have done it himself.
Oh, it's a Juicy Smollett. It's a juicy. Yeah. It's a juicy act. You know what I mean? This ain't juicy fruit. You know what I'm saying? This ain't him. That sounded really wrong. I didn't mean it like that. I was quoting Notorious B.I.G. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? It's not that. You know what I'm saying? It's not Juicy Smollett, whatever the hell you pronounce his name. It's freaking, you know what I'm saying? It was people who did that, for sure. He wouldn't go out of his way to do that. You know what I'm saying? At all.
Yeah.
At all. You know, personally, I've seen some weird, crazy stuff in my day when it has to do with nooses and all that. And I just don't understand why any black person would go out of their way to do something like that. Jussie Smollett is another conversation. He's an anomaly. That is another conversation in itself. You know, he must have did some serious cocaine and said, "I got a great idea." Drank too many shots of whatever and said, "I got a great idea," which ended up being a very stupid idea. But Bubba Wallace isn't a part of this. Now, I understand that we have a statement from Bubba Wallace, right? Jack.
Yeah, hang on, I've got it here.
Yeah,
Jack's got it.
You want to read it, Jack?
I can read it. That's fine. I got it.
Go
up
ahead,
here.
Jack.
Bubba Wallace went on to Twitter last night at 9:53 and wrote, "Today's despicable act of racism and hatred leaves me incredibly saddened and serves as a painful reminder of how much further we have to go as a society and how persistent we must be in the fight against racism. Over the last several weeks, I have been overwhelmed by the support from people across the NASCAR industry, including other drivers and team members in the garage. Together, our sport has made a commitment to driving real change and champion a community that is accepting and welcoming of everyone. Nothing is more important, and we will not be deterred by the reprehensible actions of those who seek to spread hate. As my mother told me today, they are just trying to scare you. This will not break me. I will not give in, nor will I back down. I will continue to proudly stand for what I believe in." And then he did like this little
rock and roll. Or I love you.
Peace or love. Yeah.
Peace, I love you kind of thing. That's what's up. And the thing is you have to be a special kind of crazy. Like I said, you got to be a special kind of juicy to go out of your way to put a noose out there to try to stir the pot. That's a special kind of crazy. I see Juicy Smollett doing it, but I don't see Bubba Wallace doing that at all. Period. Not in this climate. It's way too tense, way too crazy. And that man wants to secure the bag, man. Why would he shoot himself in his own foot like that? He wouldn't self-sabotage. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't make it, if he fabricated that doesn't make him look good. And that doesn't make the movement look good either. So I don't think he would do something like that for sure.
Yeah.
And I hope they get down to the bottom of it and find out who actually did that. Because that's really, really messed up. And there should not be a Confederate flag in NASCAR. I think that's one of the main reasons why I don't mess with NASCAR, personally. Anytime I see it on TV, I'm like, change the channel. Not only because I don't really enjoy the sport, but at the same time, Confederate flags are flying all over the place. That is not something that I'm down for. That is not something that I represent and that I'm cool with. So the fact that they got the Confederate flags finally down says something. A lot. So I appreciate that. But the noose thing, I hope they get down to the bottom of it and figure it out very, very quickly. Whew. Anyway, moving on to the next thing. Something fun and funny, because, you know, I had to pull this up. This is funny as hell. Now, okay, so here's the thing. there's a lot of people that know who Ja Rule is. All right. Now, recently he was just brought up on on Dave Chappelle's 846 comedy special, or his 846 special. And just recently, right now, he is trending on Twitter for a very, very interesting reason. He just apparently he's securing the bags now with doing a commercial for a Greek restaurant. And we have the video right here. We're going to check it out. This is freaking hilarious. Here it is. Give me 1 second. Enjoy.
It make you want to slap your mama. Pop Christo's got the best motherfucking gyros. You ever ate your life. So good. Take one lick to
Wow.
You got to have Peters. Pop Cristo Peters. They got everything. I'm going to just give you a rundown of some of my favorites. They got tzatziki. Hold on. Octopi tequila. Well, whatever. But it's good. Abolamano soup. Cava pizza. And they got wine too. I'm telling you, come on down to Papa Cristo's. You can't even pronounce the food. It's so goddamn good. Show them what you're working with, Papa. Show them how you do it.
Hey, Papa. Hey, where are you, Papa?
Oh my God.
Papa Cristo, how you get?
Come on down to Papa Cristo's, 2771 West Boulevard, Pico. Or you can call right now and get it delivered. Papa Cristo's. Ooh, make you want to do the dance.
Oh my God.
Opa!
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh boy! Ja Rule! Ja Rule! Oh, Ja Rule! Oh, Ja Rule! Why? Ja Rule! Oh my God! Oh my God! Ja Rule. I'm sorry. Oh my God, Ja Rule. Ja Rule, why? What happened? You know what I'm saying? What happened, bro? You were securing the bags, man, back in the day. What is this? No, man. What is this? What is this? What is this? Hold up. I mean, just one last time. What is this?
Poppy Cristo.
What is this?
Ooh, make you want to do the
dance. What is that? What dance is that? What dance is that? What dance is that, Ja Rule? Man, baby. I mean, come on. Rule, baby. You know what I'm saying? What happened to you? What happened? Ah, look at this. What is this? What is this? Oh, dear God.
Opa.
Does he have not shoe? Did they tell him to take his shoes off? Hold up. Hold up. He got no shoes on. He ain't got no shoes on, man. Come on. What the heck? What is that? He most definitely made that at home. He was in the crib.
Oh, yeah.
Chilling in the cut. Bruh. What happened, man? I understand you securing the bags, but damn, he ain't got, oh my God. He dances like Drake. Facts. Oh my God. What happened? I mean, obviously, we ain't going to him to see what he thinks about Black Lives Matter and his statements on that, like what Dave Chappelle said. He just straight up came out with a commercial for a Greek restaurant. What the hell is this? What is this, guys?
So
food looked amazing, I will say.
Yeah, I gotta say, this is, there's a couple things going on here.
Oh my God!
He's got to be trying to make some money back, right? Because he's been sued from that whole island festival, the fire festival.
Oh yeah, he was getting destroyed.
He's got to make some money, right? I feel like this looks like a cameo, right? I feel like he was on Cameo and he's like, yeah, for $500, I'll make you a commercial for your business, and he just got behind a green screen and was like, here you go. And then because he also is posting up things saying that and 50 Cent's going to town on him in the last day, because he's posted some stuff saying that his services are available to the general public for doing private party bookings.
Oh
and
my
he
God.
shared a couple things about him doing a party for like 15 people at a house. And he says, I'm just FYI, I'm not cheap. So like, but how many people have seen this video? Like that Greek restaurant has gotten the best publicity.
Oh, yeah.
People are talking about it, people are
yeah.
sharing it, and like this is like amazing for them.
I mean,
like the video is stupid.
I mean, it's hella stupid. Hold on, I gotta pull this part up one last time. I'm sorry. There's one part that I just gotta pull up because it's like, what in the F? What in the F? This moment of just full on, what in the F is this? You know what I'm saying? What is this? What is this? And then it's like you can't even get the green screen right. You see what I'm saying? The green screen's all messed up. It's all it's all pixelated and just terribly done. You see what I'm saying? And then they got this dude superimposed on top of this other dude, and it's like, what? What is this? But hold up, it's just.
Are you here? Mister, are you here?
Okay, what in the F? Just that one moment, and I mean, I get it. It's shareable content. So for that Greek restaurant, I mean, they making the monies. That worked. But whoa, Ja Rule is really needing to secure the bag really bad. Really bad. Woo, it's bad. That's bad.
There's gonna be a lot of Greeks that are gonna be, feeling a little upset with how insensitive he was at trying to pronounce their words. He was just straight making fun of it almost.
Oh, he pretty much was like, well, it's dope as hell. Moving on. What is this other stuff? Yeah, it's good too.
It's like,
and the wine is great.
Call you Carl.
And they got wine too. What? What is that? Oh, so sad. So sad. Securing the bags by any means necessary. Ja Rule, has he fallen from grace? I don't think he's fallen from grace, but obviously Fire Festival really took a chunk out of his pocket that he has to be barefoot trying to do. I don't know what he was trying to do. There was that dance move. I don't even know what that dance move was, bruh. But that's some real.
Probably found it on TikTok.
Oh yeah, I mean it was really bad.
They say right now that he has a net worth of about $8 million in 2020. This is estimated amount of money that he still has. Maybe he just want a little spotlight.
Yeah. Or he just wanted to make some quick cash. You know what I'm saying? Just because he's made that amount of money doesn't mean that he has that kind of amount of money. You see what I'm saying? So maybe he was just like,
his net worth in 2020 is around $8 million, meaning that he has that much money. So, yeah, I don't know.
Wow.
I guess everyone gets bored in quarantine,
That's that bad.
I enjoyed it.
It's hilarious. No, it works.
It's my favorite thing
hilarious.
Ja Rule's ever done, honestly.
No, it's hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious. You know what I'm saying? It works. It works. It's working. People are sharing it, and now they know about this Greek restaurant. So you guys are right on that point, on that tip. I mean, yeah, that was funny as hell. But at the same time, it's like, oof. You know what I'm saying? It went from being Ja Rule with like J-Lo in music videos to this.
Right.
So I'm saying that's quite a shift.
Yeah.
It's quite a shift in life. You feel me?
Yeah.
Quite a
John
shift.
Caitlin on YouTube saying maybe he's friends with the owners.
Yeah.
Maybe that's true. Maybe he's like, yeah, I'll make you a video, but I get free, gyros for life.
Shoot. I mean, that food better be fire then. That food better be fire. He better have catering every single day for the rest of the month at least, or something. You know what I'm saying? Something. Man, he made himself look like a fool in that piece, man. That's what I personally think. Real talk.
Food looked really good though. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of now watching the clock, waiting to get out and maybe have some Greek food for lunch.
There you go.
Yeah.
He's helped the whole industry out.
Right.
Ja
good.
Rule. Ja Rule. You know what I'm saying? He should be out here like, He should be out here making some more music or doing some features. You see what I'm saying? Like, just doing something. But nah, he Fire Festival really messed him up. Fire Festival jacked his whole image up. Real talk. So I guess he'll take whatever he can get. What are you gonna say, Jack?
So on Twitter, he goes, "Thanks for making my commercial trend. With your help, we raise money for No Kid Hungry, and we'll be doing so every week on Celeb Show Off. So vote for your boy. The show premieres tomorrow in TBS Network. Opa." So he just showed taking down a green screen on Twitter, and it looks like he is doing this as part of a new show.
Interesting.
So that just got posted 3 hours ago.
The Ja Rule. Wait, you mean
Ja
the
Rule
commercial?
posted that on Twitter 3 hours ago.
Okay. So it's all okay. It's all a plan. It's all part of a plan. He's like, all right, I'm gonna do this commercial. I look stupid. It's gonna trend hard because people like to clown on me all day long. Then he's like, oh, by the way, check out my show. Check out this new show I'm gonna be a part of. Well, is it real? That's the question. Is it a bunch of influencers dressed up, acting like they're on this really cool island and everything? Is Kylie Jenner backing it as well? If she is, run! It's a lie. It's a lie. It's Fire Festival Part 2, but it's just the TV show version of it. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'll say. What are you gonna say, Jack?
This is Celebrity Show Off. It premieres tonight, 9/10 Central, or 10/9 Central, on the TBS network, and it is. Miss Mayim is hosting Celeb Show Off. Each week, 5 celebs face off to see who can produce the most compelling content from the comfort of their own homes. You control who stays or who goes.
Interesting.
So, and they got the people that are on the, like the front of it all look like main celebrities. So it's going to be interesting to see. But everyone's got their little green screen setups at home, or at least Ja Rule did. And I imagine everybody else is going to be doing the same thing and just producing either funny content or commercial content, and see who gets the most votes. So.
Wow.
Who else is on the show?
There's always something behind it, right?
Right.
People don't just come out with this like crazy, stupid content like that, and then and like just for no reason. Like he's not going to go out and do something like that for like $5,000.
Right.
Like you'd have to be paid an insane amount of money to go do a large commercial for a small Greek restaurant.
Yeah.
Like
no, and what's funny is that like that's hella smart. That's hella smart. I mean, that's pretty much how it goes down, really. If you really think about it, a lot of times, because Jack is the one who always be like cynical as all get out and be like, he has that it's kind of do that voice, do that face, exactly. He always has that voice and face at the same damn time. And if you don't see him, you see the face in his voice kind of thing, and it's kind of like this cynic voice. Now this is a moment where it works out. His cynicism works out because he's right. And that's crazy. That it's just like, oh, yeah, hey, check out my show. I got this show. It's going to be amazing. See how stupid I am right now? You're going to love the show because I get even more stupid. I get stupider. So that's crazy. Smart.
Yeah.
Smart.
I wonder. Ja Rule, they dropped Ja Rule's one. They dropped one from Kevin Smith, Bella Thorne, and the Willis sisters.
So then I wonder if the Greek restaurant is actually real then. I wonder if it's actually real.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like he was inside a restaurant. Maybe.
Oh, he wasn't inside any restaurant. That was all green screen.
Well, I know he was like green screened inside of a restaurant. I imagine. I don't know. Maybe it's not. I don't know.
It's a real one.
It could just be content where he's just making stuff up.
It's at 2771 West Pico Boulevard in Los Angeles, California. Christo's Greek restaurant.
Yeah, and this show is brought to you by No, I'm just kidding.
But yeah, no, it's a brick and mortar Greek restaurant.
That's what's up. Oh,
and I imagine they've probably been hit pretty hard by the COVID shutdown, so this is probably great advertising for them.
Oh, absolutely. Greek food is delicious, so I'm sure they're securing the bags hard right now in the last few hours. You know what I mean? For sure. That's so incredible. Funny. That's freaking incredible. Anyway, let's move on to the next thing, because obviously there's more things to talk about, aside from Ja Rule and doing a Greek commercial. All right. So the next conversation we got to talk about, obviously, is there is another statue that's going to be taken down in New York. This is an interesting and kind of a controversial conversation, because people are really feeling some type of way on both sides of the fence in regards to this particular statue. The Theodore Roosevelt statue is going to be removed. It is a statue in front of the American Museum of Natural History in New York. Now, this statue, the reason why they're taking down this particular statue is that on the statue there is Theodore Roosevelt perched up on a horse, and on either side of him is one Native American and one black person. All right. Now, a lot of people are feeling some type of way that of course, there are indigenous people on either side of Theodore Roosevelt, but they're not on horses. They are on the ground, and it means to look very demeaning and just not a very good look, long story short. So they are looking to take it down. Now, there's a lot of people that are feeling some type of way about said statue being taken down. A lot of people are feeling very happy about it, and a lot of people are very upset about it, because they say there is no history, there is no anything that is being said about Theodore Roosevelt being shown in a bad light. Like Christopher Columbus, understandable. The man was crazy, and the things that he did to people was terrible. Now, Theodore Roosevelt, another conversation, another issue, but there's no real signs of him being, any stories of him being racist or him doing any type of terrible things to other people. So, Tom, you got the story. Speak on it.
Yeah, the American Museum of Natural History is planning to remove the statue that we were just talking about of Teddy Roosevelt from its entrance. And people have been objecting over this for years. This is not a new thing that's kind of popped up, but it's gotten increased attention, obviously, with what's going on right now.
Right.
But yeah, it's a bronze statue. It stood at the museum's Central Park West entrance since the 1940s. And yeah, they're looking to remove it. Trump, of course, had to weigh in on it because he weighs in on everything. But he tweeted this morning, ridiculous, don't remove it.
Yes.
But here we have a quote from Teddy Roosevelt's great-grandson, Theodore Roosevelt IV. And he's very much for it being removed. He says, the composition of the equestrian statue does not reflect Theodore Roosevelt's legacy. And he said it's time to move the statue and move forward. So Teddy Roosevelt's own family is like, this doesn't reflect who he was, and it should be removed.
Interesting. So they even say it should be removed.
Yep.
Huh. Interesting. I didn't know that. And that's actually good news. Go ahead, Jack.
It's called the Equestrian Statue of Theodore Roosevelt, is like the name it's been given. But the architect of the memorial specified a heroic group of 3 men, while other sources at the time described the 2 men with Roosevelt as gun bearers. That reads the statue's page on the Museum of Natural History website. And the sculptor wrote that the 2 men were guides and could be seen to stand for Roosevelt's friendliness to all races. The meaning of these figures is complicated and hard to untangle. So the James Earl Fraser is the guy who sculpted it, and it took prominent place outside the museum in 1940. But he said that it represents Roosevelt's friendliness to all races, and he envisioned the 2 figures as guides standing in for the 2 continents of Africa and America. But obviously, people see it as Roosevelt standing above and communicates a racial hierarchy that the museum and members of the public have long found disturbing, and as well as Roosevelt's troubling views on race. So, it's good that they're going to remove it. I think I think it's a positive move.
Yeah. You know, I'm a little conflicted on it because there are certain sides of it I can see. Of course, he doesn't represent any, of course, there's no history or anything said of him being malicious or racist of any type, of any kind of way. And if in my head, I keep thinking if there is a way to find a happy medium, or maybe, because obviously it's a statue, so it's not like you can just reform the statue, right. But maybe that there's a way of, say, taking down that particular statue and remounting a new one, a modified one, something that's a little bit more with the times, or a little bit more where, say, maybe they're all three on horses or something of that sort, just showing something a little bit different other than just taking it all the way down. And of course, because, the first initial thought I thought of is, oh, well, then why not take those two, the Native American and the African American, say, take them down. But then you're taking them out of the picture altogether. And that's not right either. So it's kind of like, okay, if there's a way that we can find a happy medium, maybe there's a way that we can do another statue that is all three of them on horses. Yes, I know that might sound a little crazy to some people, but I keep thinking that there's got to be a way to not just completely get rid of this, not to completely get rid of the statue or his presence outside of the American Museum of Natural History. But I feel like there's a way to just modify it and come in with a new statue that shows equality, or that all three of them are standing together rather than all three on horses. You see what I'm saying? I guess that's what I think. That's kind of where my mind is at, because I know that there's a lot of people that are not cool with them taking down the statue. They're taking it down, whether we want them to or not. But I feel like maybe there's a happy medium that can be resurrected in place of that particular statue. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, I guess obviously removing and replacing it would be good because they have a prominent spot in front of a museum that needs to be filled.
Yeah.
I don't know what the appropriate thing is to replace it with. Maybe take Teddy Roosevelt off the horse and just leave the horse to the two other men. And that's I don't know. I could see it going both ways, and people wanting it to be replaced with something completely different.
Yeah.
Something that's more symbology of community and change. But I don't know if just remounting it is going to make that difference. And putting those two guys on horses or putting everybody on the ground. I don't know if that will change the sentiment of what everyone feels about, that statue in general.
Yeah. What do you think, Tom?
I mean, it sounds like it's going to be removed anyway. And it sounds like it's been a point of contention for a while, and it makes people upset. And, I don't know that much about Teddy Roosevelt's views on race. I have seen that he did have some racist views, but yeah. He invited Booker T. Washington to the White House also. So, keep in mind, this is a guy who was president of the United States in 1905. He's not going to have progressive views on race. He undoubtedly had some extremely troubling views on it. But I mean, it comes down to the statue. And if the statue, I think it's going to be removed. So it's a moot point. But yeah, if it's making people angry, if people are hurt and offended by the placement of the Native American and the African American, then yeah, it should be removed.
Right on.
It's a statue. Who cares?
Right. It's a statue, not that big of a deal. But I think that, yes, I think that they should replace it. I don't think that they should just take it all the way down and not put anything there. I think most definitely they should replace it with something. But I do think that if it's going to be something that people are hella pressed on, it not being Teddy Roosevelt's image is not there anymore, I feel like they should do a modification of it, something different, and just keep it fair, or find some way to show all the figures that are shown on that statue, that they're all on the same level, So we'll see what they end up doing here, for sure. We will definitely see. Anyway, we got to go into a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.
Hey, take off Ms. Feinberg, I'd really appreciate it if you would close your legs.
Do you find it distracting?
Power, respect. The festival is crazy in the streets. Deception, the fakers and leaks. Entertainers are trucking for tweakers and losing their seconds. Their lives are unique. All of us under surveillance. We was a feeling that made it. Half of them stumbling around and they faded. They live in the world that's degraded for people that's constantly hated.
But you see how he makes these S's in his body right here? That's where he's hanging on, and then he's moving forward with the locomotion of his ribs. That is classic Missouri rat snake right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab him before he gets into a hole. Now, these snakes are not biters. They won't bite as long as you don't squeeze them. If you just stop them like this, it'll freeze them, and then you just gently pull them back. As long as you don't squeeze them, they won't bite.
Yo, Mike, what's up, man?
Guy? Good to see you, man.
Yeah, so Sugar Fire.
Yeah.
Fully open, right?
Yeah, we're pretty much open. So you can't sit inside yet. Monday you can sit inside a little bit. We'll have 25% of the tables inside, and then we're letting it rip outside.
So I know that there's a lot of people really concerned about staying safe and all of that.
No,
so what are you guys doing in regards to that?
Well, we have extra people to clean and rub everything down all the time. Everybody inside's wearing masks. And we have little stickers on the ground so everyone can stay 6 feet apart.
Right on.
The tables are all spaced out, inside and outside.
Sugar Fire, open in full effect right now. They're staying healthy, they're staying clean. Go get you a rack of ribs. Sugar Fire, open right now.
Thanks.
The Fur and Leather Center, providing the highest of fur and leather goods.
I'm sorry, I can't make this interview boring because this man is too exciting as a host. And I'm truly saying this, and if y'all can't do this, me and this man here is gonna leave and go somewhere else so we can get some love. I want everyone in the building to say, I love Pascal on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Wow.
Homeowners and property managers, if you're looking for effective and humane ways to remove wild animals and deal with the damage that they have caused, we have good news for you. Introducing Wildlife Command Center, a professional nuisance wildlife management company specializing in providing animal removal for residential, industrial, and commercial clients. We are the only wildlife company that checks 70 different areas on a structure to determine the answers to the following questions. Exactly which animal are we dealing with? How is the animal getting inside the home? What kind of damage is the animal doing to the structure? Once we get the answers to all of these questions, we develop and write up an action plan to resolve the animal issue completely and provide a quote to implement that action plan. We perform a very in-depth 70-point wildlife inspection. From visually inspecting the highest point, the chimney, to physically crawling inside the attic space and looking for animals, chewed wires, fecal matter, chewed structural wood, we inspect everything. Our inspection process covers all of the following 70 points. animal-proof chimney cap, roof ridge vents, roof to soffit junctions, dormer fascia, attic gable vents, gutter lines, fascia trim, garage door, utility penetrations, water, gas, electric, and cable, bathroom vents, attic roof ridge vents, attic electrical, wiring, junctions, boxes, and lighting, concrete decks, additions, wooden crawl spaces, basement plumbing, penetrations, ceiling, floor, and wall. Wildlife Command Center's mission is to deliver the finest quality wildlife removal and pest control service that is safe for the environment. For more information, call us now.
Hey, welcome back, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And like I always say, hit that subscribe button if you haven't done it already. And obviously, hit that like button underneath this feed if you're enjoying this conversation right now. Anyway, and just so you guys know, we do this show Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. And of course, I do an evening show, so I will be on live later on tonight at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So be sure to be on the lookout for that. I will be on live talking about whatever we happen to miss out on today and this morning and all that. So anyway, we got to go into this thing. There's something that's going on. A U.S. prosecutor, I forgot his name. Shoot.
Jeffrey Berman.
Jeffrey Berman, thank you. U.S. prosecutor Jeffrey Berman just got ousted. And of course, I'm wondering why. This is some weird news, and Tom has the story. So, Tommy boy, speak on it.
Yeah, this is really, really strange news and raises a lot of questions. So Friday night, it was announced, Barr announced, that Jeffrey Berman, who is a prosecutor in the Southern District of New York, was resigning. Berman very quickly put out a statement saying, "I'm not resigning. I never agreed to resign, and I plan on staying on in my post and continuing the investigations I'm doing." Now, what has Jeffrey Berman been investigating in the Southern District of New York? Among other things, he's been investigating Rudy Giuliani, his ties to those two Ukrainian fellas that were trying to dig up dirt on Joe Biden. He's been investigating that. He's been investigating Deutsche Bank. Southern District of New York has been involved in cases involving Deutsche Bank allegedly money laundering. There are any number of things that he's been investigating. And the question is, why did they attempt to say he resigned on Friday when in fact he hadn't resigned? And for those of you who don't really follow politics all that much or don't know public relations, Friday night is when you put all your bad news out. That's true. You know, people are going into the weekend and they aren't going to be talking at the water cooler about it the next day. And hopefully some other news will come along between Friday and Monday that'll kind of put whatever bad news that was you dropped on Friday on the back burner.
Right.
So immediately when this guy when they said he resigned on Friday night before Father's Day weekend, alarm bells went up everywhere as to why this prosecutor was being pushed out. Was he getting close to Trump? Was he getting close to one of Trump's associates? But the person that Trump was looking to, and I don't know if he still is, looking to replace Jeffrey Berman from the Southern District of New York, he's trying to replace him with the Security and Exchange Commission Chairman Jay Clayton. This is kind of a long, windy road, so hang on.
No, I'm with you. This is some weird stuff, so come on with it.
Yeah. This guy, Jay Clayton, who's the head of the SEC, most people say that he's kind of a straight shooter, that he's kind of down the middle. But in his past, he has been employed by, I want to make sure, Sullivan and Cromwell. That was who he worked for before he went to go work for the government in the SEC. Sullivan and Cromwell is the law firm. They do a lot of work with financial institutions.
Mm-hmm.
One of the financial institutions that he represented was Deutsche Bank. And when he applied for his job at the SEC, he acknowledged that he had received payment exceeding $5,000 from Deutsche Bank for work that he had done representing them as a member of Sullivan and Cromwell. Deutsche Bank, for those of you who don't know, is the only bank that will still do any business with the Trump organization.
Really?
Yeah. Deutsche Bank is the only bank that will deal with Trump, will lend him money, because the Trump organization is notorious for defaulting on their loans.
Interesting.
So Deutsche Bank has been investigated for, I believe, it's $10 billion of money laundering related to Russian oligarchs, among other people. And that investigation into that money laundering was in part carried out by the Southern District of New York and Jeffrey Berman. So, you know, boil it all down, what do you have? You have Jeffrey Berman, who has been investigating money laundering at Deutsche Bank, is being pushed out to make way for a guy who, before he entered government, was defending Deutsche Bank against money laundering, which for me raises a lot of questions. Now, there was a New York Times article last year that was pointing out that several mid-level managers at Deutsche Bank had raised alarm bells over transactions that Kushner and the Trump organization and Donald Trump had. They have an automated system at Deutsche Bank that theoretically will catch money laundering. Now, sometimes it has false positives, but then they have these mid-level managers that will go in and look at the case individually and say, okay, this is kind of fishy. I'm going to kick this up the line to a more senior executive so they can review it. Apparently, every time the alarm bells were raised about Jared Kushner and Donald Trump, they kicked it up to the senior executive. Senior executive basically said, we don't care. We're going to toss this out. And some of those mid-level managers at Deutsche Bank resigned, saying that they felt that they were involved in some shady business, which they may well have very, very well been. But take this all together, and you've got Jeffrey Berman, who has, among other things, I mean, keep in mind, he's also been investigating Giuliani. There are a number of cases he's involved in that are not good for the president. But the one that catches my eye is this Deutsche Bank angle, where he's been investigating Deutsche Bank for money laundering. Trump and Jared Kushner have been rumored to have been involved in money laundering involving Deutsche Bank. And now, strangely, on a Friday night, out of nowhere, before Father's Day weekend, he gets pushed out in the most bizarre fashion.
Yeah.
To make way for a guy who was a partner at Sullivan and Cromwell, who defended Deutsche Bank against money laundering. It raises a lot of questions. I'm not saying this is what it is. There are any number of things that this could be as to why, but there hasn't been a definitive answer given as to why he was pushed out. And more importantly, why was he pushed out on a Friday night before Father's Day weekend? Why are they trying to bury this?
Yeah.
This news. And thank God he didn't comply initially when they said that he had resigned. Jeffrey Berman was like, yeah, no, I didn't.
Yeah, he's like, I didn't resign. What are they talking about? Huh.
Yeah.
He's like, that's
So
news to me. What the what?
It's very strange.
It's really, really strange. But then it's like, what did he find out? Like, what is it? What's the information that he uncovered? What did he see that would make him automatically get ousted? Or was he trying to do this on the was this public knowledge, though, that he was starting to investigate, that he was looking into Deutsche Bank's connections with Deutsche Banks and money laundering with the Trump administration, with Trump? You know, like, did they know this at all? Like, did they happen to hear that he was starting to do this in the first place? Or was he just doing this on the low? That's what I'd like to know.
Yeah, it's a very good question. And that's the thing. Nobody really knows what's going on and why this is happening. And, Jay Clayton, a lot of people surrounding Jay Clayton are saying that he should not take up this appointment, that, he's kind of been thrown into a situation he didn't necessarily create, and that this could damage his reputation if he takes over the spot. I guess there are some fears with people that, his closeness with Deutsche Bank and being a Trump appointee, that, Trump is trying to put a Deutsche Bank and Trump loyalist at the Southern District of New York to, mess up these investigations, keep them from going forward. Also keep in mind when Robert Mueller presented his report, he was asked repeatedly, should Trump be prosecuted for his crimes, stuff like that. And he basically said, well, that's up to you. That's up to Congress. That's up to the Senate. So Congress, the House impeached him. The trial was sent to the Senate. The Senate didn't choose to remove him from office. But if Trump loses in November, he will go back to being a private citizen who will then be subject to the Justice Department the way any other private citizen is. So is he stacking is he rearranging the furniture a little bit? It's the Southern District of New York to protect himself when he may go back to being private citizen Trump when he's out of office in January, if he's out of office in January. But yeah, it's a weird thing. It's a weird time to fire somebody in a position like that that's investigating your allies to try and push them out on a Friday evening before Father's Day weekend and before the Tulsa rally, when you know that the news is going to be covering that and people are going to be focused on their families. It's a weird way to try and bury a story. It raises so many questions, and I'm sure every journalist worth their salt is looking into exactly who Jay Clayton is, what his past is, who he has represented in the past, and to what degree. It's mind-boggling that this would be happening, but that for me, the thing that really sticks out is that Deutsche Bank angle. And also, I want to point out, this is also known fact. This isn't just me spouting conspiracy theory stuff. This is documented, verified facts. One of the guys that was overseeing a lot of those loans to the Trump organization and to Kushner through Deutsche Bank, one of the Deutsche Bank employees doing that was former Justice Anthony Kennedy's son. Now, you remember Justice Anthony Kennedy retired from the Supreme Court to make way for Justice Kavanaugh. You remember, I like beer. Yeah. Yeah. So there have been reports that that Justice Kennedy was pushed out. Well, not pushed out, but encouraged to retire by Trump Jr. and Jared Kushner, who, of course, knew his son by way of loans. So this raises a lot of questions. The Deutsche Bank Trump angle, Justice Anthony Kennedy angle, it just raises so many questions about what exactly is going on. And I hope somebody gets to the bottom of it. Yeah. It's very bizarre when you're removing a guy from a post who has been investigating Deutsche Bank and money laundering and the Trump organization for financial crimes, and you're replacing him with a Trump appointee who, in his past work, has defended Deutsche Bank. It's very strange. Raises a lot of questions.
Yeah, it's such a heavily layered situation that it's very interesting that all this stuff is coming out now. But then again, there's been other situations that have popped up, even during right after he got after he got sworn in. There were questionable moments that happened, questionable moves that happened during that time as well. Same thing. There was another story, if I remember correctly. There was another story of somebody getting resigned or getting fired without their knowledge. Like, they were just like, wait, I
I wasn't getting fired. I don't know what you're talking about. There has been those kind of stories, or at least I've heard those kind of stories. So it just makes you wonder, how much is he trying to, like, what is he trying to hide, basically?
Yeah.
What is he consistently trying to hide? So, yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see what's going to happen. Yeah, you know, it's still brand new, obviously. It just happened on Friday night, and I'm sure there's going to be more information that keeps coming out. But obviously, he knew something. Homeboy found out something. He found out something for sure. Like, he found out something that was not good. Why would they automatically just go, bye, you gone? You know what I'm saying? Unless it was a situation of Trump just finding out that he was looking things up, which is a possibility. Maybe he just didn't know that he was investigating the, Deutsche Banks and the connection with money laundering and Trump and all that. You never know. It's so weird. It's like, I don't know how to respond to it. The only thing I can say is, like, obviously something fishy's going on, and he's just trying to cover his ass. And so that's why I feel like, rumor has it, or something went down the pipe, got to him, and he said, all right, he's gone. Put out a thing that he's resigning, and that's it. We're not going to fire him, because that looks even more suspicious. He's resigning on his own merit. It looks less suspicious.
It raises a lot of questions. I don't think it really helps Trump either, because there have been calls now for the Democrat-controlled House to call Jeffrey Berman to testify in front of them, to give his story on what is happening here, and without giving away too much into what his office has been investigating, to give some sort of context as to why he was pushed out in such a weird, underhanded fashion.
Yeah.
So the current acting head that took over for him, now that he has resigned, Jeffrey Berman, is Audrey Strauss, who was already there. And, people aren't worried about her. She's already been working in the office, and now she's acting head. But if he tries to install this Jay Clayton fella, who used to work for Sullivan and Cromwell and represented Deutsche Bank, among other financial institutions, as an appointee from the president, he'll be subjected to the same Senate confirmation hearings that all other appointees will have to go through.
Mm-hmm.
And I imagine he'll be grilled pretty hard on it, considering how he's found himself in this situation.
Yeah.
But the other thing that will do, if they go forward, I mean, keep in mind, November is the election. So Trump really has before November to try and get a new permanent head installed at Southern District of New York.
Right.
But if they go through all that Senate confirmation stuff, it puts a lot of the Republican senators that are in swing districts in the crosshairs, because obviously this kind of reeks of corruption.
Absolutely.
And if you're in a swing district and you're a senator and you're falling on the side of Trump in something that clearly is a little fishy, that makes your reelection that much harder.
Mm-hmm.
So he's putting a lot of senators in a weird position too, if they actually go through the appointment process. I mean, it could be he might just write out his term and just let the acting head continue, this Audrey Strauss woman. But who knows? It's a very, very weird situation that, the way the media moves these days, everything is, forgotten about 24 hours after it breaks. But I hope this is something that people keep looking into, because it's really fishy.
Yeah, I think people are going to look into it for sure, especially now, now more than ever. He's starting to show himself even more as time goes on. It's getting worse and worse and worse. He's looking worse and worse and worse. And I think that there's, right now, he's trying to cover his ass as much as he can. Random image on Periscope just said, proves to me Trump is scared of 2020. He knows it's not going to be good for him after office. So he might be trying to cover his ass for sure. And I agree with Random Image. He's going out of his way to try to get some things lined up so that if he does end up not winning in 2020, fingers crossed, that he's not walking out of presidency into a courtroom and getting, charged with X amount of different things. He's trying to hold out for whatever crimes he's committed while he was in office. I'm sure he's trying to hold out for as long as he can, so that he doesn't, so he doesn't have to see that kind of stuff. Now, it is very. It's very interesting. It is very interesting. Tano Vane just said, "I don't believe in the chess playing Trump. I think he's very instinctual and off the cuff." And I agree. I don't think he's very. Everybody's like, it's chess, not checkers, man. That's what he's playing. I don't know if he's really playing chess. I think he's playing a lot of checkers, and he's just shooting from the hip a lot of times. Tana Vane continues, he gets surprised by something and makes an immediate decision that he then grasps on to no matter what. And I do agree. I think he does. Like, he's all instinctual. He's all about emotion. He doesn't think ahead. And the funny thing is we can kind of segue a tiny bit into the Boland situation. The interview was on this past weekend, and he says the same thing. Like, Trump doesn't really read a whole lot. He doesn't really, look up the things that are being given to him. He doesn't really read into history. He doesn't know really much of anything. He's just very flying by the seat of his pants type of thing. And maybe that works. That's been working for him in business, but I don't know if it works for him. It's been working right now for while he's in office. But like I said, there's a lot of people out here that think that he can do no wrong, that think he is Superman. So, it's going to be, it'll be interesting. John Caitlin said, no president will ever be convicted of anything. Bill Clinton has intimate ties to a known pedophile. Where is the outrage? Where is his conviction? And that's very, very, very true. You know what I mean? I mean, he's got a good point there as well.
I just want to point out that Trump also has extensive ties to Jeffrey Epstein as well.
Exactly. So. I was going to say that too. There is.
Let's not omit that fact.
Yeah, let's not forget he does have he has hardcore connections with Jeffrey Epstein or Epstein, however you pronounce it. Anyway, terrible human being, regardless. But yes, they all have connections with this man. So no matter what, it's like where's the outrage and where's the conviction of that too? That's the only thing I would pose back as well. But yeah, I mean, the only thing we can do is, I guess, only time will tell. And yes, I think he is terrified about 2020 because right now, something on Twitter is trending right now as we speak. It is hashtag scandal of our times. And this has to do with Trump. Trump literally put up about 4 hours ago, he says in a tweet, rigged 2020 election. Millions of mail-in ballots will be printed by foreign countries and others. It will be the scandal of our times. So he's now trying to basically cover his ass because he is very scared. Let's keep it real. He's worried about November. He doesn't want November to happen the way he thinks it's going to happen. So he's putting out his little seeds. He's sprinkling his crack out there on his Twitter feeds so that people start losing their minds and saying, no, we're not going to do mail-in ballots or whatever. You see what I'm saying? So this is our president trying to basically make it seem like if he does lose, that it's a scam. That it must be the scandal of our times.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, well, and if he loses, he's not going to admit defeat. He will not do that. That is not in his nature. He could lose the popular vote and the Electoral College, and he will claim that it was rigged, and he will divide America even further after that. Because that's all he does is divide.
Yeah.
So I'm worried. I'm worried if he wins. I'm worried if he loses. If he wins, obviously we're stuck with a second term of him, which is, we all know, well, not we all know, but in my opinion, is not a good thing.
Yeah.
If he loses, he could really upset his hardcore base and like feed them all these lies that, oh, it was rigged. The system is rigged. America's over. And there could be, there could be terrorism.
Yeah.
I mean, he could start a new movement if he loses, where he says, oh, elections don't matter anymore. Your voice doesn't matter because they're rigging it against you.
Yeah.
And you could see, I mean, that's a dangerous, the transition of power, if he loses, has to go smoothly. And you know it's not going to. He's going to rile up his base and stoke anger because that's what he's good at.
That's what he does.
That is what he's good at.
That's exactly what he's good at. I mean, that's his MO. That's his whole campaign, is stoking fear, you know, and just poking the bear and just trying to do as much as he can to, you know, that's what he does. That's his whole approach. And, you know, it will be, like I said, I mean, unless they find something, like I said, if they don't see and find that his hand, catch him with his hand in the cookie jar, like really catch his hand in the cookie jar in some terrible, terrible way, you never know. You know, he obviously has a good chance of winning in November. He still has a very good chance of winning. You know, only time will tell. And the thing is that's why I'm nervous about November. I'm really nervous about November because they still have to go head to head. And I am worried about Biden. You know, he's our only hope.
Yeah.
He's our only hope right now. And, like, you know, he still hasn't made his, you know, just going over there really quick. He hasn't really made his decision on who is his VP, who is his running mate. You know, and he needs to make that decision. He needs to make that announcement as soon as freaking possible. As soon as possible. And, yeah.
I was really kind of hoping Biden would have announced his VP pick right as Trump started to talk in Tulsa.
That would have been
amazing. Hilarious.
That would have been hilarious.
It's like, amazing. Oh, you thought tonight was about the Trump rally? Guess what? All the news channels aren't going to. That would have been hilarious, but he didn't do that.
No, but he will be putting it out here soon. I know that some people, I know that Klobuchar bowed out just recently, saying that it should be a woman of color. And so hopefully it's somebody who's good.
Yeah.
We'll see. We won't.
Hopefully it's not Tim Kaine again. I don't think, was anybody excited by Tim Kaine when he was announced as Hillary's running mate in 2016?
I don't think anybody
Does anybody even remember that Tim Kaine was Hillary's running mate?
I've totally forgot about that ish. Real talk. I forgot about that ish. That's interesting. You know,
one of the most least interesting, boring vice presidential picks you could possibly imagine. Excited exactly no one. So hopefully Biden picks somebody good.
Yeah, I'm hopeful. I'm hella hopeful, for sure. It'll be interesting. Tyrannus said, "What's up, Tyrannus?" Said, "Do you think we'll have debates?"
Yeah,
I mean
we'll have to. I mean, whether that's through a Zoom.
No, I think, you know what I think? I think that there will be that, but it'll be there will be no people. There'll just be a moderator and both of them on way opposite sides of the stage. And that's it. I think, and it'll just stream live, you know? I think that's what's going to happen. It's going to be that approach. I don't think it's going to be a live audience. I don't think there's going to be a soul in that house. That's what I personally think.
Yeah, I mean, I agree.
You know, and John Caitlin said Oprah Winfrey. Yeah, I mean, it would be amazing if it was Oprah, but she's not down for politics at all. She ain't about that life. She doesn't want to. Because there was talk about her a few years ago when she made a speech at the Golden Globes, if I'm correct. And it was an amazing speech, and people were all about, oh, Oprah in 2020. And she said, nope, you'll never see me in this lifetime running for president. So I think she's going to be staying true to her guns with that. She makes too much money, too. She's sitting pretty. You know what I'm saying? It's Oprah, for crying out loud. She good.
She all right. She already has a platform where she changes and molds minds. You know, maybe she ain't down for that kind of crazy stuff. You know, how about The Rock for president 2020?
I want somebody that knows what they're doing.
Thank you.
In government. I want somebody who's qualified. We have a guy right now who was a game show host. I mean, let's face it, The Apprentice was a game show.
Right.
And we've got a guy that doesn't have any idea how to govern as president right now, and we see how it's going. I want somebody who knows how to govern as president, not somebody who's just a popular person. It's awful. I don't want that. I want somebody who knows what they're doing.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that for sure. I think The Rock is amazing, but he would have to be properly vetted and properly prepared, and he's not at all. Yes, I would love to see that, but at the same time, I would want to see that. I mean, I don't know. The Rock, but then again, Arnold Schwarzenegger became the governor.
Yeah.
So I mean, anything's possible. So
Ronald Reagan,
another one. So I mean, anything.
Strangely, it's all Republicans that end up going from
right?
being a celebrity to becoming a president.
Interesting. and here's the thing: like, I'm not sitting here saying that The Rock couldn't do it, or Oprah couldn't do it. I would just want them to really know their P's and Q's, because obviously we're seeing somebody right now that's he's fumbling the ball, man. You know what I mean? He's not even. It's bad. He's fumbling the ball right now. He may have been doing whatever you might think. He may have, in any other person's opinion, might have been doing really great things in the very beginning. Maybe that's for argument's sake. But or that's we can that's debatable. But at the same time, at the end of it, he hasn't really done. Right now, he's fumbling the ball. He's all over the place. All over the place. It's not the right guy. Not the right guy. No. So if we learn from this, it's kind of like, all right, if The Rock was going to do, 2024, let's just say, I would be like, yo, man, you better start reading some books, learn you some politics, and get it right so that in 2024, you can run. But I don't know. He's too busy securing the bags too. You know what I'm saying? Making the monies. So I don't know. That's money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Susan Rice is also being vetted. Yeah, that's true, Mr. Super. It's interesting, John Caitlin just said he just needs Joe Rogan as a vice. Oh my dear God. No. Now here's the thing. I like Joe Rogan. Let's not get it twisted. I like Joe Rogan. I like his podcast. As far as him being a president or vice, no. Hail to the no. I think he's great with the platform in which he is on. I don't think he should be.
You're alone in that.
I don't think. No, I just think he should be. I don't think he should be on the political scale at all. I think he should stay where he is on the platform in which he is built. He has a huge following. People really run with his stuff. So I think he should stay exactly where he is at and not try to mess up the bags. That's what I think. John Caitlin said, anything but Trump. Ha, 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 ha. And that's very true. You're right. Anybody but Trump, but not Joe Rogan. Like I said, no. Joe Rogan's perfect where he's at. He needs to stay in his lane. I'm a big fan. He needs to stay in his lane. That's it. You know what I mean?
I'm not a big fan of Joe Rogan. I think Joe Rogan's terrible. There have been videos.
What is your problem?
Him and
let me
cohorts saying a whole bunch of misogynistic stuff over the weekend that have been making the rounds.
Yeah,
He
talked about it.
enabled Chris D'Elia. I don't like Joe Rogan.
I talked about it. I talked about it on the show. I talked about it on a video yesterday, and it's getting so much hate. That video, because I was talking about Joey Coco Diaz and the conversation that they were having 10 years ago. And yes, it was 10 years ago, and I agree with that it was only 10 years ago, or that it was 10 years ago, and things change, people change. There's a lot of conversations that people have 10 years ago that probably they would be like, I'd take that conversation back big time. But there is a lot of people that I put out that video, and it got a lot of hate. Why? Because people think that Joe Rogan is scripture. There are people who live for Joe Rogan, which is not bad, not a bad thing. I'm not sitting here saying that that's a bad thing, you know, but at the same time, I thought that that moment was not a good look for Joe Rogan, and I think that he should just go and apologize. But let me ask you, Tom, aside from what you just listed off, what is it that you don't like about Joe Rogan? What is it that is that drives you nuts? Because you were just like, no, I don't like him.
He gives a platform to alt-right conspiracy theories and people on the alt-right.
Okay.
I don't think he's very smart, but he likes to pretend that he is. The way I think of Joe Rogan is like, he's like Joey from Friends. If someone gave Joey from Friends a bucket of creatine and a 6-page pamphlet on libertarianism, he's a moron. He's a complete idiot. And the people he surrounds himself with are these alt-right scumbags that, you know, are misogynistic and, as Phoebe was saying, transphobic. Yeah. You know, I mean, if you like Republican comedy, then Joe Rogan's probably your guy. But I think he's bad. I think he's bad for the culture, and I don't like him.
Interesting. Okay. Bad for the culture. No. I mean, and that's totally fine. Like that it is what it is. I don't mind him that much, but at the same time, I don't listen to him. I don't listen to him that much unless he's like with Mike Tyson or like Kevin Hart or Kevin Smith or something like that. You know, then I'll go and listen to him because they always have really good stories that they tell. But other than that, I could see what you're saying. But I also think that he is so popular that he can sit here and go, you know, I'll just, you know, instead of like actually drinking the coffee, I'll just shoot it through my toes. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just the fastest way that I can get the optimal performance of that caffeine is if I shoot it through my veins. And everybody will go, that is scripture. I'm going to do that from now on. I've noticed that where people go, oh yeah, you know, I'm going to microdose shrooms every day because that's what Joe Rogan said. I've seen those things, and that's kind of the thing that I don't really roll with. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time,
I also just don't think he's funny. I mean, just on a base level, it's just like, I don't think I've ever really had a hard belly laugh from Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
He's not my type of comedy. Our philosophies are very different. And I think a lot of the people he has on his show that are regular people, you know, and we've seen videos of it all week, are not good people. They have very troubling views on gender. And I think he's bad for the culture.
It's so weird, though. Go ahead, Tom. Go ahead, Tom.
I used to listen to Joe Rogan, like in the early days of his podcast, like back around like 2011 or something like that. I used to listen to him all the time because at the time, I mean, I'm a comedy nerd. So at the time, the only like podcast going where comedians were being interviewed was Joe Rogan and Mark Maron. And fortunately, podcasts kind of exploded after that, where every comedian and their brother has a podcast now where they interview other comedians. But it's not like I'm ignorant to Joe Rogan. I know who he is. I just don't like him.
Yeah.
I think he's, you know, the people he surrounds himself with, the guests that he has on, the conspiracy theories that he entertains, I think are bad for the culture.
Yeah, and that's cool. I mean, you know, like I said, there are certain people that he has on the show that I don't mind listening to and hearing their stories, but then there are other people that I don't listen to at all. And you know, that's his platform and that's what he wants to do. Then, you know, that's on him. You know, Tanner Vane said, I like that he doesn't refuse guests. So I guess he really brings in anybody. He just lets anybody in and just has a conversation with them. And and that's one thing that I do kind of like about him in certain ways. There are people that he has come onto the show that are controversial. Like whether you like them, Tom, or me like them or not. But he brings them on and he'll have a conversation with them. Everybody from like Alex Jones to Jocko, what's his name, Willink, or Candace Owens, to like he just brings in everybody and actually just has conversations with them. And honestly, it adds for something very interesting. Whether you're listening to them and listening to them just BS the entire time, not Joe, but the actual guest that he's talking to, because a lot of times you're listening to some people on his show just talk BS. Like, you're just like, shut up. You're so stupid. You're just talking all this mess. But at the same time, there's not a whole lot of channels that are willing to span the spectrum. At least that's from what I've seen. If you're a heavily heavily liberal show, you're not really bringing in conservative people on the show most of the time. Or conservative and having liberal. So it's interesting that he brings in those types of people. It's just fascinating to me. That's all.
Yeah. I think sometimes some of the people he brings on the show don't deserve a platform. They should not have their voices amplified by his podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And I think sometimes some of the people he has on the show, he does not hold their feet to the fire on some of their views. I mean,
I think because he's always high.
And
I keep thinking that's maybe why he's always, because he's high. Like, he's just so high because he smokes every time he starts his podcast. He smokes, and then he comes in, and then he's just sitting there, just having a conversation like, yo, man, this is what's going on, my podcast. That's at least what I've noticed. Even sometimes he'll light up during the conversations too. But yeah, I keep thinking maybe that's why. That he's not fully present because he's so damn high. You feel me?
Yeah. I also just think he's not really all that bright.
That too.
I mean, he works his ass off. He's got a very successful podcast. No one's denying that. But I don't know.
No, hey,
it's Joe Rogan, Yeah, you know what you're getting with Joe Rogan.
Yeah, so. No, there's, like Michelle Smale just said he also had Cornel West, Bernie Sanders, Kyle Kulinski, the host of The Hill on. I don't always agree with him, but I like that he lets people make their case, which is pretty rare nowadays. Yeah, you know what I mean? Elon Musk. I mean, and that's what I'm saying. Like, he has such a laundry list of people, that have been on, that are just drastically different, just hugely different. Like, for example, I'm going to say this now, since, I got people listening and watching right now, which, Malia, hello, how's Australia? Australian for beer, shrimps on the barbie. So anyway, for example, I have, I'm going to be doing a conversation with somebody later on this week who is currently a cop and is an adamant All Lives Matter what's the word? Member, I guess. He is a enthusiast, if you will, of the All Lives Matter movement. And he is a current cop. He is currently a cop in Phoenix, Arizona. And he is going to be on the show. Now, here's the thing. Obviously, I am all about Black Lives Matter. This guy's coming onto the show to talk about his position on All Lives Matter. Now, that's the whole point. It's bringing other people from all over the world, like from all different walks of life. Like, shoot, not sitting here saying that I would condone it, but I would be down to speak to a member of the KKK. Absolutely. Why not? Have that conversation. Try to understand, not understand, but try to hear why they're thinking the crazy things that they think. Where are they getting those ideas? That's the thing. It's like, sometimes when you bring somebody on the show, it's like, where did you get all this hate? Why do you think, if you're, obviously you're a cop in active duty, why would you be saying BLM is BS and All Lives Matter is everything? Where are you coming from on that? And I think that's what I like what they were just saying, people who are commenting down below are saying. It's like Rogan will open up the door and actually sit down with somebody. no matter what their background is, and have that conversation. And that's what I like about him. He may be in your opinion or whoever's opinion, he might be the dumbest person in the world. You never know. But the fact that he brings those people on makes for very interesting conversations instead of it just being some echo chamber of a podcast, you know?
Right. I just don't think he holds people's feet to the fire sometimes. And I think some of the people he has on the show are not people that are arguing in good faith.
Right.
And he has, I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, he's got the most popular podcast in the world. He has an enormous platform. And what do they say? With great power comes great responsibility.
Yes.
And if you're going to be putting people on your show that are hate mongers or whatever, or like rabid conspiracy theorists that are just dumbing down the culture with this BS Fantasyland crap they're pulling out of their ass, then yeah, I think you're hurting the culture if you have a giant platform and you're just putting somebody out there. Because, you know, every time he has an Alex Jones on, more people become aware of who Alex Jones is. And most people will look at Alex Jones and say, well, there's a crazy person. But there are a lot of people that will hear him and be like, oh, that's interesting. I've never thought about it that way. And the culture just goes further down the toilet.
Yeah.
And that's what I have problems with him on. I mean, his interview with Trump Jr. was a complete embarrassment.
Really? I have not seen it.
The way he fanboyed and fawned all over Don Jr. is an embarrassment.
Really?
And,
I haven't seen that one. I really have not seen that one. So
I mean, he was all posing pictures with him afterwards. You know, it's like this guy is, you know.
Ooh, that's bad. That's
not I don't like Joe Rogan. I don't like the comic. I mean, he has comics on his show that I, of course, respect. But a lot of his regular people are like people like Chris D'Elia, who are just, you know, frat boy douche scumbags. So it's not my cup of tea. I don't like Joe Rogan. I think he's bad for the culture.
Yeah, I mean,
there are other people that agree with me. And it's fine if you don't.
No. No, here it is, though. The moments like the one that I talked about yesterday on my little pop-up video about Joey Coco Diaz going and sitting there going, oh, yeah, you know, I would go and get a girl. She'd give me an 8-ball, give me some oral loving, and she can get in the room. Oh, we ran through her so hard, it broke her. She was a beautiful girl. Forget about it, you know. But beautiful blonde, you know what I'm saying? Bada bing, you know. And then she got all the. She was so beautiful, but by the time she left, she had dirt on her nails. You know what I mean? Because she got broken. And then they're like, oh, yeah, you know, she sends me a letter later on. She sent me a letter later on saying that I broke her. You know what I mean? And all she was trying to do was break into the game, break into Hollywood and get her name out there. And she thought he was using his celebrity and he was using gatekeeping techniques, if you will, to basically have his way with this chick. Now, Joe Rogan is laughing his ass off throughout this entire conversation. To me, not a good look. Not a good look at all. And I put that out. I put in my own 2 cents. I said, hey, I don't think Joe should get canceled for this, but I think he shouldn't get canceled for this, but he should address it head on. No, because he's
if
not the one.
If it was a black person trying to break in and they were having to jump through all kinds of hoops and Joe Rogan was laughing his ass off about how he was making it harder for a black comic to break in, would you be saying this?
No, you got a point there. You definitely got a point there. You got an absolute point there. I was sitting there saying, given the fact that he wasn't the one laughing, he wasn't the one telling the story. He reacted.
But he's laughing.
He's laughing. It still was
Giggling
messed up.
His ass off.
That's why I was saying that he needs to address it straight on. He needs to address it, talk about it, say that it's not cool. If he doesn't, then I can see him getting canceled. If he just lets this keep running, then I can see that. But we're obviously in a world now where even Whitney Cummings talked about it. You know, she's good friends with Chris D'Elia. And she went in on him saying, I didn't even know that he was a part of this type of predatory behavior, so on and so forth. You know, it affected her. She was angry as hell. And they're good friends. And so, you know, there's definitely a culture out there. There's definitely a boys club out there, if you will. it's basically a conversation of grabbing him by the P word type thing. And it's kind of like, all right, he needs to just say what he needs to say, get it, address it, say, hey, this is not cool stuff. Because the show's developed completely different. The show's completely different from what it was 10 years ago. 10 years ago is one thing. Now it's something completely different. Now his platform is something that millions of people listen to every day or every time he posts something. So that's what I'm trying to say. It's like he really does need to just address it as soon as possible. Yes, that was not cool at all 10 years ago. That was still not cool 10 years ago. But now in the climate that we're in right now, and the fact that somebody dug that up and threw it out there in the ether, come on now. He needs to get out there and get in front of it and say something about it. But there's no way he's going to get canceled. No way. Even if he didn't,
too many fans.
Even if he didn't say anything, he's not going to get canceled. He is Jesus Christ to a lot of people. Literally. He was really drink your urine. It'll make you strong like me. Everybody would drink their urine. I'm telling you. Everybody. Now you're drinking your urine, Tom? Is that what's happening right there? Yeah. But you see what I'm saying? Drink your urine and you'll be strong like me. Everyone's like, well, Joe Rogan said to drink your urine. So it must be true. Scripture. So that's it. You know what I mean? And there was a lot of people that were definitely feeling some type of way when I put up that video.
He's got his following for sure.
Yeah, most definitely got his following, and nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. But you said, as you said a second ago, with great power comes great responsibility. He is now on a platform that was probably not in that where it was 10 years ago. So now he needs to start treading lightly and watching what he says and what he's talking about. And, there are videos now, even so, that are surfacing of Brad Williams as well, talking about basically raping, sexually assaulting a girl, unbeknownst to her, on
the tour bus.
Yes, the tour bus story, and that's real stuff. That is real stuff.
I believe he did apologize for that, but it's still awful.
Still an awful story, with Carlos Mencia on the Carlos Mencia's tour bus, and how it's like, oh yeah, let's do this. It'd be funny. I mean, still really, really jacked up stuff, jacked up.
And I can't remember. I think he apologized for that a few months back, but I think he said something along the lines of that situation never actually happened. It was a joke I made up or something along those lines. But
that's
even still, why are you joking around about, what it really amounts to rape?
Yep. It's a messed up story. And hopefully, like I said, hopefully with the whole Joe Rogan situation, hopefully they will get down to the bottom of it and actually talk about these things more often, and more openly, but in a more mature way, but it is, only time will tell. We're just going to have to wait and see what happens here. But anyway, we got to run out of here. This is, we got to wrap up the show. You know what I'm saying? That's about it for us today. Tom, thank you so much for being on today. I appreciate it. And of course,
thanks for having me.
Anytime, brother. And Jack, thank you so much for being on. But anyway, we got to get going. I will be on a little bit later on tonight, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So be on the lookout for that. And if you haven't done it yet, hit that like button down below underneath this feed as we speak. That would really, really mean a lot. And if you haven't done it yet and you are just now tuning into the show, for the first time, please hit that subscribe button down below. That would really mean a lot. Anyway, it's time to get going. I appreciate the conversations, and it was a fun talk today. All right. So anyway, be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. And I will see you guys tonight at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.
Hey, take off. Ms. Feinberg, I'd really appreciate it if you would close your legs.
Do you find it distracting?
Power, respect. The festival's crazy in the streets. Deception, the fakers and leaks. Entertainers are trucking for tweakers and losing their circles. Their loves are unique. All of us under surveillance. We was a villain.
see how he makes these S's in his body right here? That's where he's hanging on, and then he's moving forward with the locomotion of his ribs. That is classic Missouri rat snake right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab him before he gets into a hole. Now, these snakes are not biters. They won't bite as long as you don't squeeze them. If you just stop them like this, it'll freeze them, and then you just gently pull them back. As long as you don't squeeze them, they won't bite.
Yo, Mike, what's up, man?
Guy? Good to see you, man.
Yeah, so Sugar Fire.
Yeah.
Fully open, right?
Yeah, we're pretty much open. So you can't sit inside yet. Monday you can sit inside a little bit. We'll have 25% of the tables inside, and then we're letting it rip outside.
So I know that there's a lot of people really concerned about staying safe and all of that. So what are you guys doing in regards to that?
Well, we have extra people to clean and rub everything down all the time. Everybody inside's wearing masks. And we have little stickers on the ground so everyone can stay 6 feet apart.
Right on.
The tables are all spaced out, inside and outside.
Sugar Fire, open in full effect right now. They're staying healthy, they're staying clean. Go get you a rack of ribs. Sugar Fire, open right now. Thanks.
The Fur and Leather Center, providing the highest of fur and leather goods.
I'm sorry, I can't make this interview boring because this man is too exciting as a host. And I'm truly saying this, and if y'all can't do this, me and this man here is gonna leave and go somewhere else where we can get some love. I want everyone in the building to say, I love Pascal on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Wow.